All right, welcome to Love and Stuff. We've had quite a time to get on. Happy New Year to all of you here in Love and Stuff land and community. I'm Marcus Holmes. I am your facilitator and welcome to Love and Stuff. I am going to invite a few folks to join us in Love and Stuff. Happy New Year to you all. And I hope that you are having a prosperous new year. Not taking an opportunity, I hope that you will take the opportunity to follow us on Facebook. We're almost to 3,000 followers. Thank you very much. Our goal is 20,000. We need at least 10,000 to get the type of advertising and brand collaboration that we're seeking. And so I hope that you will help us to continue to help us to reach our goal. One of the ways that you can do that is you can go to our page, go in the community, click on invite friends, select all of your friends, and send an invite to all of your friends. That's something you can do to help us. That would be very helpful to us. I am going to get into the topic in just a moment. But I am also going to drop in the link, the opportunity for you to join us. Hello, Tasha Green. I would love for you to come in on this panel discussion to join us here. That is the link on Zoom. Hello, Sonia Wadi. Thank you so much for joining us. You can also feel free to join us on the link on Zoom. Hopefully our senior associate producer will be with us in a moment. And I hope that you will begin to invite some folks. I am going to invite some folks to join us as well. I'm going to share this to a couple of groups. And I hope, oh, it's not going to let me do it the way I normally do it. Okay. Well, I'm going to try that differently. While I'm doing that, Corey Reed, hello. Thanks for joining us here at Love and Stuff. I hope that you all will click share and tag 5 of your closest Facebook friends. As I was stating, you can always go to our Love and Stuff page, click on community, click on invite friends, and invite all of your friends. That will help us to get to our 20,000 viewers much more quickly. I am attempting to invite a few more folks, and I hope that you will join us in that inviting of folks on our Love and Stuff. There it is on Zoom. And I am going to invite to some other folks to join us. It was giving us a little bit of trouble for inviting so many people. But we're doing all we can to expand and enlarge our brand. And so I appreciate it if you join us in doing that. As we seek to do that. So we are live here on Tuesday evening. And I just wanted to invite a few of our groups to join us while I'm inviting folks individually to join us as well. I hope you'll bear patient with us while we do that. And while we're doing that, I hope that you will do just the same. And tonight will be an open panel, so you'll be free to join us if you so choose, as we are live. And I'm going to share to a few more groups and invite a few more folks as we seek to broaden our audience. There are a number of groups that we are pleased to share with and be part of their communities. And we see them as somewhat an extension of ours. So uh, let's see right now. Good. Jay Gerald, I need you to come in because Arnaldo. A number of groups that we are pleased to share with and be part of their communities. Okay. We see them Jay Gerald and Arnaldo, I need you both to join along with Tasha. I need you to come in so that I can get this conversation going. So thank you. Our senior associate producer is here. Arnaldo Jimenez is here. One of our, I'm going to still call him a top fan. He was a top fan, but he's been working so diligently in school, and I understand that. Appreciate all of the support. And Don, Renee, or Reed, thanks for coming. Happy New Year to all of you. As I was stating at the outset, please, before you leave Facebook tonight, go to our page, which is Love and Stuff. Click on Community, click on Invite Friends, and invite all of your friends. That will help us to get from our almost 3,000 followers now. Thank you so much for getting us there, to 20,000. We got a little ways to go, but I know we can get there if you would, but help us do it. Nawana Duhart has joined us. Thank you so much for coming to Love and Stuff. Hey there, Dawn. Happy New Year. Jay Gerald, I'm going to need you to post that topic, and I'm going to need you to join us live. All right. I got to step away for a second. Jay Gerald, I need you to come in. All right. The show must go on. Unbelievable. Life happens. All right. I disappeared. I did. Okay. All right. Trying to catch up with the comments. Thank you, J. Gerald, and I hope that you will come in. All right. I'm going to read the topic. I think it's posted there, but I'll just read it aloud for reading's sake, and I'll try to follow along. Okay. I was going to invite a few more folks, but we're 8:58, getting a late start. Our 27-year-old daughter brought home a 49-year-old boyfriend that she has been dating for 4 months. I'm 50 and my wife is 46. My wife reminded me that I had no problem when my 24-year-old son was dating a 38-year-old. I say he's too old. She says it will fizzle out, I'm sure she meant out, if they're not compatible. What do you say? I'm still here. Thank you so much. Technical difficult, well, not technical difficulties. I better just say that. But the show must go on. Okay. All right. Fantastic. So I'm hoping you'll join me. What do you say? Does age really matter? And is there a double standard if it is younger man, older woman versus older man, younger woman? Is there a double standard? What do you say to this husband and wife? The wife was very young when she had their oldest daughter, and the dad's a little older than she is. And so she's saying, you didn't feel the same way when our son is dating a 38-year-old woman and he's 24. Why is it a problem? Because our 27-year-old is dating a 49-year-old who happens to be older than the wife and close to the husband's age. Is that appropriate? What do you say? Don says, leave the grown folks be. You don't know what God has for her. Age doesn't matter. It's all about compatibility or longevity. All right. Don says, let them be grown. What do you say? Is it a double standard though, Don? Do you think men feel differently about, a dad would feel differently about that? Oh, don't freeze. A dad feels differently about that because it's, his daughter. It would be okay if it's his son. Is that a double standard? What do you say? Why is there always a double standard when it comes to sons and daughters? But I agree with the mom. You know, I'm waiting to get in on this. Well, Arnaldo, the link is in the comments. So if you can click on the link, it will allow you to come to Zoom. I'm exploring different platforms, looking at StreamYard as well, because it will let me do multiple platforms. So we have a YouTube channel, we have a Twitch channel, a Twitch, I said that wrong, a Twitch channel, and we're going to also do some of our gratefulness journey work on LinkedIn. So StreamYard will allow me to broadcast, stream to all of those at the same time. And it may allow me, as Facebook should, to schedule some of the previous shows. And hopefully we'll be able to upload some of the previous shows to Facebook Watch, and maybe that will help us further our platform. But that aside, I'd like for you to join us if you're open to joining us. I know Tasha says she's not available. Marilyn Nelson has joined us. I'm sure they would. Men tend to have that. It's about keeping her safe. I'm looking at the IGTV as well. So these multiple platforms just to broaden our reach, Dawn. I want our community, we're about 2 years old, and I'd like our community to be broadened and expand. And so there are some opportunities that are before us, and I'd like to take advantage of those. Justin Davis has joined us. Thanks, cousin. Deborah Hill, thanks, sis. I appreciate you all coming. I want to remind you that before you leave Facebook tonight, please, ma'am, please, sir, go to Love and Stuff, go to the Unity tab, click Invite Friends, and invite all of your friends. We are almost at 3,000 followers. Thank you so much. But we really want to get to 20,000. And the way we get there is if you invite your friends. If you enjoy the content that we share, don't keep it to yourself. Invite someone else to join us on Facebook, Facebook Live on Tuesday nights, and invite someone to our page. There's, we do birthday shout outs. People asking, why do you do birthday shout outs? One of the reasons I do it is because I believe we should celebrate life. Another of the reasons I do it is because many people don't know other people that are connected in and around the community. So it gives people a chance to see faces, say happy birthday to someone. Some of the people happen to be single. So it gives them some exposure where they don't have to go on a dating app. And trust me, people are going to people, checking their pages out, inboxing me, asking me questions. And I'm saying, listen, I'm not moderating between the two of you. I'm just giving people the platform so others can see them. And it's always great to see entrepreneurs and married couples and all of those types of things. So we try to provide all of that content to you. Valencia Etner, join us on Zoom. I'm trying to get you, Sonia Charisse. I was trying to get Tasha, but she wouldn't come. Our senior associate producer, of course, and Arnaldo Jimenez to join us on this topic. If daddies always want to keep their daughter safe, nothing wrong with the need to protect his daughter. Truthfully, if there's an issue, he needs not to alienate her so he can keep her close. Great point, Dawn. I was going to say, and Modera, I asked to join us as well. So hoping all of you will join. Those of you that are here, I hope you will click share and tag some people to join us in the conversation. I'm following the comments on a different device, so that's why I'm kind of looking down and up. So I apologize for that. One day I'll have the associate producer and the screens and all of those great things. So I am, all right. All right, I'm saying, come on in. All right, so come on in. Those of you join us. See, anybody joined us yet? No one's joined us yet. You got to join me. I'll drop the link one more time in the comments so that you can get it, so that you can join us on the topic. And then I'm going to read the topic and we're going to delve more into the topic. So there is the link. There it is. So now, Arnaldo, you should just be able to copy this link into your browser. Voila, voici. It should bring you right on up. Okay. Okay. So one more time. Our 27-year-old daughter brought home a 49-year-old boyfriend that she has been dating for 4 months. I'm 50 and my wife is 46. My wife reminded me that I had no problem when my 23-year-old son was dating a 38-year-old. He said,
You hear me?
I say it's too old. She says it will fizzle out if they're not compatible. Let me see who's in. 49-year-old. There we go. Okay. So you're going to have to turn your volume down just a little bit, Arnaldo, but welcome. Thank you so much. I'm so glad that you are here. And I know that you have probably been in school working diligently. And so we're happy to see you. Happy New Year.
Okay, my fault. I had Facebook still on. Can you do me a favor? Turn that light on.
Yeah, you can have it on. You just got to bring the volume down. That's fine.
Yeah, what happened was, you were still talking on Facebook. So that's what, so I just closed out Facebook.
Okay, cool. And so hearing this topic, I know you're a dad.
I'm a dad of 3.
Yeah. And how would you feel if your daughter brought home a guy your age?
Well, I don't know if you know this, but my girlfriend is younger than I am.
Mm-hmm.
So
how much, may I ask how much younger?
I just turned 48. She's 20, 24.
Okay. So you're almost twice at this point, you're twice her age.
Yeah.
Okay.
And my oldest daughter is 20.
Wow. And so let me ask you this. Have you met your fiance's dad? Is it your fiance or your wife?
No, she's my girlfriend.
Your girlfriend. I'm sorry.
But we live. No. But we live together.
Okay. All right. Have you met her dad?
Well, she was living with her mom and her stepmom, her mom and her stepdad.
Okay.
And they basically were treating her like she was still a kid. Even when we were dating. I mean, it went from 0 to 60 pretty fast. Like she works at my school. She's a therapist at my school.
Okay.
So we met in September of last school year.
Mm-hmm.
So 2018. We went out in October. Kind of made it official at the end of October, and she moved in like the week before Thanksgiving.
Wow. Okay.
And you know, I guess you could say she didn't have the best relationship with her parents.
Okay.
Just because, in the simple fact of they're controlling. Like her mom is, I think they both are pretty much around my age.
Okay.
And I did meet her mom once, but the stepfather is controlling. So basically, he doesn't allow her to see her sister anymore, and things like that. So that's how that situation is.
Got it. And so, does she have a relationship with her dad at all? Her biological dad. I'm just curious.
No, that's a whole nother story. But okay. that story is because of the truth not actually being told to her. But her dad, she's Latino. She's Latina, so her dad lives in Honduras.
Got it. Okay.
So just recently, really, last year was when she really started talking to him. So they talk every now and then, but basically it was just some things that came out about the truth not really being told, not on her part or her dad's part, but more so on her mom and her stepdad's part.
Okay. And so let me ask you this: the stepdad, what was your interaction like with him? Because if
I have never met him.
Okay.
They have no desire to, I met the mom once. He has no desire to meet me. And that's fine. Our situations are similar because I don't have I never had a really good relationship with my dad because he was an alcoholic, and I don't have a relationship with my mom. I live with my mom. I lived with my mom for maybe 6 years of my whole life.
Okay.
I was raised by my grandmother from age 14 on. I lived with my grandmother from birth until I was about 7 years old.
Okay.
So we that was our pillow talk last night. We were just really talking about the relationships, and it's like I'm explaining to her, like, at some point you just gotta hey, realize you're gonna do so much better, you know. And I was saying last night, like even just doing my doctor, I said I never would have thought I would be doing the things I was doing because my mom was really degrading to me. You
Yeah.
know, some of the things that she said to me and the abuse that I dealt with,
Mm-hmm.
um, I would never have thought I would be where I am now had I stayed with her.
And let me double back because I want to clarify for some of the folks that have joined us: Sandra Beavers, Tiffany Funderburk, Modera Johnson, Arnaldo Jimenez. This is not his topic. This topic is a topic from the inbox that he was excited to speak about. And we happen to learn that he is dating someone who's 24 years his junior. So it's not his topic. I'm looking at some of the comments and I know you all are just joining. And so I think you're responding to him, but it's not really, even though his situation is similar, today's topic is about a 50-year-old dad and his 46-year-old wife. We're kind of having some discussion about their 27-year-old daughter who is dating a 49-year-old man. And the wife says, let it happen. And if it works, let's see if it fizzles out. The dad is concerned about that age difference, but the mother brought to his attention, well, he wasn't that concerned with his 24-year-old son dating a 38-year-old woman. So the wife is kind of saying there's a double standard here. And I wanted to bring all of those pieces to the Love and Stuff community. So,
not to take away, I don't want this to be about me, but if I was in a situation, again, it all depends on the maturity level of the younger individual. And I think if my daughter was to come home, I know my daughter's maturity level.
mm-hmm.
Like with my girlfriend, she has a master's,
Mm-hmm.
so that was really, I already knew academically why we were compatible. Now,
Mm-hmm.
are there some things that we are different on?
Mm-hmm.
We are, but she knows I make fun of her sometimes. Oh, this song came out, you weren't even around then.
Mm-hmm.
But she takes it as a knowledgeable part.
Mm-hmm.
I'll share information and she'll listen to it and say, oh, okay. Well, I say, hey, these are the black movies that you need to watch right here to get a better understanding. So there is a benefit. Age is nothing but a number.
Mm-hmm.
And if those two individuals are happy, if that man respects her,
Mm-hmm.
you know, then that's more power to them. Like dad and mom should just be happy. Like
Yeah.
I look around. I mean, celebrities do it all the time. Michael Douglas, I was just listening to the other day.
Mm-hmm.
Catherine Zeta-Jones is like 24 years his senior.
Yeah.
They've been married for the longest time.
Yeah. I want to go to some of the comments, Arnaldo. And again, let me just preface it with saying I know that Modera is a passionate guy. And I think maybe some of the comments are split between the topic and you.
Okay.
So he says, that's why she's with him. She wants and desires and needs to be fathered. Sorry to say, it's obvious that her relationship is strained with her parents. That's how he was able to swoop in. I wouldn't have a desire to meet you. I think he's saying if he was the stepfather, trauma has drawn them each to each other. Do you feel that for you, that because neither of you had a good relationship with your dad, and her maybe kind of not with her parents, do you think that commonality drew you to each other in any regard?
No, because we didn't even really talk about that in the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
And regardless, like I had a wonderful grandmother I mean, you've heard me say it before.
Mm-hmm.
I'm in the same house as my grandparents,
Mm-hmm.
so this is where all the memories. I had my uncle and we talk at least once or twice a week.
Mm-hmm.
He took me on as a father figure. So I didn't grow up without the role models in my life.
Mm-hmm.
Um, it's just I think I was at a different place in my life, and um, it just really was an honest conversation.
Mm-hmm.
And I saw we work in the same industry, we work with the same type of students,
Mm-hmm.
and that was really just what really talked. And I mean, I guess I just said, hey, let's move forward with this. And
Mm-hmm.
it just so happened that's what she wanted to do. And it's been I mean, we've been a year and a few months now. You know, we've been together 2 Christmases, 2 Thanksgivings, couple of birthdays. You know, I also had to change my mindset because as a father of 3 children,
Mhm.
I was saying I thought I was looking for somebody who could be a mother figure to my children.
Mhm.
I had to realize that eventually I realized they don't need a mom. They have that. And she
Mhm.
has a wonderful relationship with all 3 of them, even my
Mhm.
20-year-old. You
Mhm.
know, she's not trying to she really helps and picks them up from school. Um, I do dinner, she does breakfast. I
Mhm.
do the laundry, she does the bathrooms. You know, it's a nice balance. And you know, outside of the age,
Mhm.
we you know, nobody talks about it. You know, it's just it is what it is. Like everybody at the school knows, and we, you know, and they talk to us like it's nothing.
Mhm.
You know, you know, they saw us and they started discovering the secret, and we finally let it out. So I feel like if that young lady and that man are happy,
Mhm.
and you know, allow them to be happy. You know, you want your children to be happy.
Yeah.
And I guess you know, he knows his daughter's maturity level best,
Yes.
and
And
and and if she's mature enough, you know, and
mhm.
that's what attracted me to Gabby was the
Mhm.
fact that she went and got her bachelor's, and then she did an accelerated program for her master's in a year. So that's what
Mhm.
I liked about her. I saw her as really passionate and things like that. Of course, I
Yeah.
also see the person that she can become, you know,
Sure.
in her career, you
Yeah.
know, and she's very supportive. I'm very supportive of her. And I guess that's what's important. If those two individuals are supportive of one another, allow that. People focus on age a lot too much.
Yeah. So, Arnaldo, I know you closed out Facebook, so you can't really see these comments, but the comments are kind of going over the board. And I want to again say, Modera, I think that I don't want you to rush to judgment because I don't think you know enough about Arnaldo Jimenez
And
to.
and you know what? And that's fine,
Hold
Mark.
on,
You know,
Arnaldo. I just want to speak to Modera, and I appreciate that. You know, he has his own opinion, and you're entitled to that. We welcome that in our Love and Stuff community, but we don't do it in a way that might be offensive. And I want you to just be careful of that. Um, yeah, I appreciate that, Tasha. Yeah, that is Modera's opinion, and please don't say we. I agree. Brenda Landry has joined us. Thank you so much. Michael Flanoyo, happy belated birthday. Carmen Wimbush, Sandra Beaver says you can date an older person and they act like kid. Hell, they still live at home with their parent or
very
grandparent.
true.
Yeah, so it really does depend upon the maturity. Modera says you attract what you are where you are. Okay. Pam Bass has joined us. Thank you so much. Eunice Hunter has joined us. Thank you so much. Um, Modera, it is a rush to judgment because you don't know him and you don't know his girlfriend, so you don't know that. I appreciate your having a strong, passionate opinion, but I think you got to have some grace where you don't know people or the situations. You don't know the maturity level of Arnaldo or Gabby. Um, you know, and so I appreciate and encourage your great, passionate comments. I'm just, um, respectfully going to ask you to think about how you might couch them in a way where when Ronaldo sees this, he won't be offended because that's not.
But you know what? I won't be offended. You know, I think you know, and I even just say that, like, just even 2019, I've learned some things. I've learned to say no to things. I've learned to, you know, I'm doing my doctorate. I'm teaching night school now twice a week. But I
Mhm.
also I just come in and like we just been sitting here for the last few hours. You know, the kids don't come back till tomorrow.
Mhm.
We came in. She's doing her notes from her therapy sessions today. I was
Mhm.
supposed to be writing a paper, and then I saw your thing, and I came on, and it's
Appreciate
just
it.
nice. We sitting here sipping wine and
Yeah.
having conversation. People are entitled to their opinions.
Yeah, and I understand that. I just want to, again, as the facilitator of
I know,
Love and Stuff, I just want to make sure that people understand. I acknowledge and honor all opinions,
right?
but I have to step in and say when I think that the opinions are bordering something different,
Okay,
just to remind people, you're entitled to your opinion, but you can couch it in a way that still
right.
has a monicum of civility. So that's all I'm saying. And I appreciate, Madeira saying, I've heard this before when I was a practicing therapist. His girlfriend is a therapist. He's working on his doctorate. So we're not talking about undereducated or uneducated people. We're talking about people who have made a decision. But I do want to ask you, Arnaldo,
Yes,
whether
sir.
or not you all discuss the differences, or can you talk a little bit about the differences? I know you talked about the music, and I guess, we can all, talk about that when we meet somebody that's younger and we're listening to some music and they're like, oh, Beyonce recorded that. We'd be like, no, but Beyonce re-recorded the original, something like
Right.
that. But what are some of the differences that you have seen that seem to be age specific?
Um, I think more so just letting her know that she can make decisions.
Mm-hmm.
Like you don't have to come to me. Like I want you to be able to make decisions. But outside of that, really nothing. Like with the kids. I mean, last spring break we all drove to Canada.
Mm-hmm.
Where else we going? New York. So I'm having just as much fun. I mean, we're having fun. Like I'm at a point like um and the difference is like when it comes to music or movies, it's just funny. Like,
Mm-hmm.
like when we watched Eddie Murphy on Saturday Night Live a few weeks ago. So
Mm-hmm.
then I was like, okay, so now Google this, and now you'll see his scripts of how it used to be so that you can then make that connection. But
Mm-hmm.
it's just funny, it makes me laugh also because just taking me back.
Mm-hmm.
But like I have peace, and so I really it's just really not a lot of differences. Um, we like shopping together, and I mean you should see how the house is decked out Christmas wise,
Mm-hmm.
and I like the fact she makes decisions and hey, I just kind of go along with it, whatever. She knows what I like, I know what she likes,
Mm-hmm.
so I don't really feel like um it's definitely a lot more positives. I don't even think I can say anything negative. You
Okay.
know, Going back, of course, I would love to have a great relationship with her folks.
Mm-hmm.
I would like them to be able to know my kids. I wish they would understand that she's happy.
Mm-hmm.
And even her aunts, we've run into her aunt, and she's talked to her uncle. We ran into them in stores, and they were like, he needs to just understand you're happy and you're an adult. And but some of them they just don't realize it. And
Yeah.
but other than that, no, we're both very, very happy.
Okay. Let me jump back into some of the folks that have joined us. Dolores, Michelle, Archibald, Happy New Year. Long time no see. I hope that you will click, share, and tag some of your friends to join us here on Facebook. Eric Powell, thank you, sir, for coming to Love and Stuff. Happy New Year to you. Tyann Wilson says, we love her and him. Minded, Modera.
That's my coworker.
Calmed him and he loves her. Lynn Shaw,
Marcus.
thanks for joining.
Yeah.
Modera, your opinion might be based on fact, but I know you as a therapist know that every situation is different and it does rely on factors and variables.
And
So
that's my coworker, Marcus.
I can tell because she's like, we are not walking around shaking our heads at work. So
no, and we all go out to happy hour and do activities together.
Mhm.
Trust me, if anybody would say something, Ms. Wilson would say something. If she felt as though my girlfriend was young or childish acting, she would be like, Jimenez, you need to leave her alone.
Mhm.
Never. We all go out as groups at work and have a great time.
Yeah. Sandra Beaver says, I dated a younger man and he acted like an old man. And yes, my kids liked him and his family loved me and still do. And we're not together now. And I was with him 10 years and I was 21. He was 21. I was in my 40s at that time. You couldn't tell he was 21. So don't judge a book by its cover till you read it. Great, great. Yes, I know each situation is different, but the truth, no matter the players, is the same. Well, the truth has to be based on the facts, though, right? And so, Modera, you can't just take what you're doing is generalizing. And again, you're entitled to do that. I just don't want you to do it in a way where I'm gonna keep reminding you. I'm gonna keep reminding you because I think it's important that we have a level of civility when we're discussing it. You know, it's not your situation, and we didn't necessarily want to bring Arnaldo, who was a valued member of our community, as you all are, to talk about the situation. But he said, "Hey, you know, I can relate to this," which is what we want the people in the inbox who we seek to maybe give them a different perspective. We want them to be able to hear varying perspectives. So I think Modera, yours is an important perspective, but we got to put it in perspective to hear all of the voices because there are divergent voices here. So I appreciate that. Tyann says, I like older myself. Um, Sandra, what happened with that relationship? No, bro, no generalization, just facts. It's a generalization if you don't know the facts. You don't know the facts, is what I'm telling you. So, Modera, we're gonna let that. We're gonna agree to disagree that you believe you are not generalizing, and you believe that you know the facts, and the facts are the same. Got you. Appreciate that. And anything else you want to share? I walk away from me, and I'm still single. Okay. So what I was trying to find out, and you're basically saying there really aren't a lot of differences based on age,
Right.
or no? That you're basically, you feel that you all are on equal footing. You feel like
Yeah.
this is your partner.
Yeah. In some instances, um, like there's some things like she didn't have a passport until we met.
Mhm,
So we got her passport
mhm,
and we took our first trip. And then of course it's gonna be I know a lot more, so I'm gonna show her different things like when we went to New York. But I've
mhm,
gone to New York so many. I mean, I've been going to New York since the '90s because I have
mhm,
so many friends there. But this
mhm.
was the first time that when we went to New York, I actually went to Central Park and
Okay.
we walked close to 30 blocks,
Wow.
and I was being cursed out the whole time, but it was something fun,
Yeah.
so I think I always am going to find the first in something, no
Mhm,
matter if I've experienced something similar, but
mhm,
I think it's just fun. Like, I mean, we sat here. I Don't Be a Men's Society while drinking your juice in the hood in South Central or whatever with the Wayans brothers. I mean, we sat and watched that last week. I
mhm.
seen it, she never saw it. But it's
Right.
not like, hey, I'm teaching you this. This is a good movie. You got to watch it and
Mhm,
just learn from it. And there's
mhm,
some things, and I mean, we really because we work with English language learners, and
mhm.
so that is a lot about conversation as well. We
Sure.
it's not like I feel like, oh my gosh, I'm just so much more intelligent than her and I have no idea what she's talking about. But we really have genuine academia conversation
Mhm.
to balance out everything else. We go to comedy shows. I mean, we double dated with two other coworkers the other day for a comedy show. I mean, I don't have a problem with the age.
Mhm.
You know, um,
Has she expressed any concerns about the age difference?
absolutely not.
Okay. All right. Okay.
Absolutely not. I think I may mention it more than she does,
Yeah.
but or she'll get offended. Like if we go out and they'll be like, Miss, I need to see your ID. But other
Mhm.
than that, but no, I think I mention it more than she does. But no, absolutely not.
And do you have any concerns, fears, trepidation about her thinking, in a few years, wanting somebody closer to her age, somebody younger than you? Does that ever come in your mind?
No,
Okay.
no. I think the only thing that comes in my mind is because I'm 48, I want to make sure that I'm around for another 30, 40 years to really enjoy things.
Yeah. And-
So that's really why I make sure I'm trying to take care of myself in a healthy manner, watch what I eat, and lessen my stress and things like that, just because I want to make sure that I am around
yeah.
for a while.
Yeah. I want to announce that Norma Jelks has joined us as well as Valerie Smith. Thank you both for coming to Love and Stuff. I hope that you will click share and tag 5 of your closest Facebook friends, 5 of your more popular Facebook friends to join in our discussion. Along with, before you leave tonight, stop by the Love and Stuff page and be sure to click on community, invite friends, and invite all. So we want you to invite all of your friends. We're really close to 3,000 followers. Our goal is 20,000 followers, and we can't possibly get there without you. Um, so I wanted to switch it a little bit, Arnaldo. Your dad, how would you feel if your daughter came home with a man that was your age?
If if my oldest daughter came home at this point in her life, I don't think she's mature for
Mhm,
that right now
mhm,
because she's still in school. She's still trying to figure things out.
mhm,
So I guess that's why I say it depends on the situation. If she had graduated, she's been
mhm,
working, her
mhm,
maturity level and understanding of the world, her worldview is a lot different. So it really
mhm,
depends on the worldview. You know your child best. It
mhm,
depends on their worldview.
mhm,
Um, and again, like if a person is genuine, if you have them in your house and you see how they're interacting, and if they're happy, then they're happy. So it really depends on where his daughter's worldview is.
mhm,
And if she's mature enough and he, could say that, yeah, she's actually mature, she's focused, she's doing X, Y, and Z, then he shouldn't have any problem with it. I wouldn't have a problem with it knowing where my daughter's worldview is.
mhm. And do you think it is kind of a double standard?
Absolutely.
Because the mother in this situation is saying, hey, you didn't have any issue with our son dating an older woman. Why are you having an issue with our daughter dating an older man? So do you think
We
that?
One of the comedians that we saw, I don't know if she was being serious or if it was part of her routine,
Mhm.
but she was talking about how she said the best way that I had to get my daughter out of the house was I had to start dating one of her friends who was 22 years old. Now we don't know if she was serious or not, but that was part of her line. She was talking about she's a cougar and she likes dating younger men. So I'm thinking it might be something she's done or is
Mhm.
doing, and she's just
Mhm.
making it part of her routine. And
Mhm.
I think it is a double standard.
Mhm.
Men when it's, oh, I'm dating a cougar, and that's how it's looked at. So
Mhm.
yeah. But again, like people have been like celebrities do this all the time. Like,
Mhm.
and again, if you're happy, if you know where you're going, the expectation level, then
Mhm.
allow them to do whatever they're gonna do.
Mhm.
If you think it's gonna fizzle out, then same way that she's 20 something and she may be dating someone her age, it may fizzle out also.
Mhm.
But in talking to my girlfriend, her one of the things she said was, guys at my age just are immature or they're not on my level. And
Mhm.
that's a big difference. So if this young lady feels like this man is on her level, then
Mhm.
and she's happy with it,
Mhm.
allow her to be happy, and I guess just like I said, another important point is just ensuring that he's taking care of himself. You
Mhm.
know, don't go into a situation where some man has diabetes, high blood pressure, high cholesterol, don't know if he's going to live the next 5 years. But if he's healthy, taking care of himself, understands the family dynamic, um, understands like, hey, I'm taking care of you, mentally as well, emotionally, then
Mhm.
allow them to be happy.
Mhm. David Carter has joined us. Don Renee Ori says exactly to you. Angela Arrington, thank you for coming to Love and Stuff. Good evening. Very relevant topic here. It is such the norm today for men and women. I was wondering, Arnaldo, if it was going to come up, and you just brought it up, because people often say that women mature more quickly than men. And so I often hear, even, my niece will be 22 and she's often saying, Uncle, the boys my age, the men my age are not mature. And women do sometimes tend to mature more quickly
Mhm.
than men in some regards. So I was wondering if that was going to be something that came up. Because I know you said, your girlfriend, she did the accelerated program in her master. She seems focused, is working in her field. And those are some good signs of someone who is developing some emotional maturity. So,
You
you
know,
know,
and I'm not trying to get too far off topic, but I've dated, before I met her, of course I dated people in my age group.
hmm
But and I use this word lightly because I don't want anybody to go off on me. But I just found that women in my age group had a lot of baggage that I just didn't want to deal with.
I think that's fair,
You know,
Arnaldo. And I don't, I'm going to defend you if someone
okay.
does try to jump on you. I think that's fair. Sandra said something similar to that, but she said that about younger men her age. She says, "Don't nobody want no old man set in his way." So she
Mhm.
dates younger men. So it is a preference for an individual to say, I want to deal with someone who has a fresher outlook on life and who may not be jaded by all of the relationships and baggage and things that they have contended with over 20 years. And you end up dating them and every man that they've dated because they treat you as if you're
Exactly.
him. So
Exactly.
it's a personal preference, I think. So I think you raise a great point. You have the right to say, hey, I've dated women in my age range, older, younger, and this is, what I prefer,
Yeah.
as long as that person is mature. And I
Yeah.
want to ask you in a moment, because some of the comments were about you looking for a daughter or her looking for a father, or you're wanting to father her. I want to give you a chance to speak to that in a second, but I want to just jump back to some of the comments really quickly. Oh, Denara McClary has joined us. Miracle. I call him a miracle because he was literally on death's door, and here he is in 2020, living his best life. Don Renee says, my man is 10 years younger than I am. He's an amazing man. So age is nothing. It's about the people. Thank you for that, Don. Sandra Beaver says, my sons have dated older women and I didn't have a problem with it because my sons act old and they 30 and 34. They don't listen to all that rap music, old school music. It's fair and true. Thank you for that, Tyann. Emotional baggage before anything. When I was younger, I always dated older men. Thank you, Sonia, for that. Calvin B. Rowan has joined us. Thank you, sir, for coming to Love and Stuff. Again, everyone that's coming to Love and Stuff, tag 5 of your closest Facebook friends, 5 of your more popular Facebook friends to join the discussion. And don't forget to stop by the Love and Stuff page. If you haven't already clicked like, go to community, click invite friends and invite all of your friends so that we can reach our goal of 20,000 followers. Thank you. That's absolutely fair. Some women have been healed and are so jaded. Haven't been healed. I'm sorry. I found the same with women. Some men, I think you're saying. Okay.
True.
It takes a whole man, healed man to be with me. Thank you for that, Dawn Renee. So what do you say to the notion of men choose younger women because they want to father them, and uh, men choose older women because they want to be mothered? What do you say to that,
I,
Arnaldo?
I mean, I think each their own. In this case, in my relationship, that's not the case.
Mhm,
I don't feel like I'm fathering her. I
mhm,
don't feel like she's my daughter or anything
mhm,
like that.
mhm,
Again, she she's not here to be the kid's mother.
mhm,
Um, but she's really, really good with them.
mhm,
You know, my daughter is away in college in Virginia,
mhm,
so it's my other two that are here, my 14 and my 9-year-old, and
mhm,
you know, picks them up from school. I don't have to. They do their own thing,
mhm,
and I don't feel like I'm fathering her.
mhm,
Hey, you need to do this or you need to do that. If I say something, I'm doing it in a joking way, but
mhm,
no, like life is really, really good.
mhm.
You know,
Great.
my aunt, my aunt and uncle who I look at as my mother and my father figure. They were in Grand Cayman for like 30 something years. They now are in they just moved back to Florida, but they love her. They always ask about her, tell her, they say hi. So nobody sees that. And that's why I just don't pay attention to other people, because if those people that matter to me are
Mhm.
supportive, that's what's important to me.
Yeah. Jones Love has joined us. Thanks for coming to Love and Stuff, and Happy New Year. Love and happiness. Happy New Year. Sandra says, hell, my younger son dated an older woman and a younger woman, and they lived in the same house for years. And I thought that was crazy to me, but these days, nothing surprises me.
Right.
And Sandra, I think it just really, as Arnaldo was saying, it really depends on the individual. What works for 2 adults and 2 mature adults, especially, I think are required when there is an age difference. I don't want to put her on the spot, but Arnaldo, is Gabby there? Does she want to chime in and say anything to us? I
Yeah.
think people would like to hear her side of it if she doesn't feel too put on the spot.
Hello. She's coming over.
Okay, fantastic.
She's worrying about her hair, Marcus.
Oh, everybody does that to me. I have trouble. I get inboxes because people say, no, I didn't do my hair. And I'm like, this is just authentically, organically you. Uh, David Carter says, I notice when age is so lopsided, the younger ones get flighty when the old one gets toward the 60s. Don says that there is true for some, but haven't matured themselves. Thank you for that. All right. Oh, you're beautiful. Hi.
Oh, hi, Mark.
Not that I didn't expect you to be beautiful, but you're beautiful. Nice to meet you.
Nice
Happy
to finally
New
meet
Year.
you. I hear you all the time. I'm always in the background.
Well, thank you so much and Happy New Year to you and congratulations. I haven't met Arnaldo face to face, but he seems like an upstanding guy and we love him here in
Absolutely.
the Love and Stuff community. And he seems so happy with you. So I can see why, but he seems so happy to be with you. So we're talking, and as you may have heard in the background, some people are really riled up about this, Gabby, because
Are they? Okay.
there's this big age difference is a big deal. How do you feel about Arnaldo being 24 years older than you? Are you concerned for the future? Tell me, how do you feel about it?
Well, I'm not concerned about the age at
Okay.
all. Like
Mhm.
he said, I don't really think about it. I don't bring it up ever. If
Mhm.
anything, in the beginning, he was the one that brought up the age thing,
Okay.
the difference. I do know that when I let my mom know and I told her about it, it was an issue.
Okay.
She wasn't too happy with it. She
Okay.
would always say, "Hey, like no, he's older than you," and it was a big deal to her. So at the end of the day, I made my decision. She didn't
Mhm.
like it, so there was
Mhm.
a lot of not even back and forth because we wouldn't speak. So it was a big issue there.
Mhm.
Once I moved with him, things started to change. I talked to her, and I mean, she met him. She met him once.
Okay.
But like he mentioned, my relationship with my mom and my stepdad isn't the greatest. We don't
Okay.
really talk. It's not, I mean, they just made up their mind, and
Mhm.
I don't think I can change that, but I made my decision and I'm fine with that. I'm
Yeah.
happy.
And Gabby, hopefully they will see how happy you are over time, and that will change their heart. Sometimes when you love people and you're concerned about them, even if the relationship is strained, once you see them really in a space where they're loved and safe and happy, maybe that'll change it. Call me hopelessly optimistic, but
No, I
maybe
mean,
that
I
will change.
I do hope the same thing.
Mhm.
In the beginning, I thought that they would have a relationship. Right now, there
Mhm.
isn't a relationship. I
Mhm.
barely have a relationship with them, and
Yeah.
yeah, it's unfortunate. I don't like it. I miss my mom. I miss how we used to be. But if she's not okay with it, then I can't really change her mind at this point. It's been a year and some months. It's been a long time. It's not recent.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, just maybe time. Like I
yeah,
said, over time, she might come to her senses and realize, what's important is that you're happy, that you're healthy, that you're safe, that you're in an affirming relationship with someone who loves you for you. And that's what any parent, at least from my standpoint, any parent hopes that for their children to be happy, to find work that is meaningful, that changes lives, to find someone that you are a great companion with and lover and confidant and all of those things. So hopefully that will kick in at some point and she'll say, you know what, that's what at the end of the day, that's really all that matters. And it's going to be Gabby's choice anyway. So, maybe she'll
right.
get to that place at some point. So Arnaldo has daughters, right? What's your relationship like with the daughters?
It's wonderful. I mean, I
That's good.
love them. I get along with them. We
Mhm.
do things together. Like sometimes he has homework, we leave him here and we go do things, like I guess with his older daughter,
Mhm.
she's away at school, but when she's home, it's like we talk about things, we sit on the couch, we watch TV together. He'll
Mhm.
be, I don't know, somewhere and we'll just be here.
Mhm.
We can talk about things. She's in college. I can give her advice on things. I can let her know, hey, do this, don't do this, study hard and
Mhm.
focus. With his 14-year-old, it's wonderful. I love her, and we do things. We do nails. We do shopping. We, things like that. So it's
Yeah.
like I know, like I'm not their mom, but
Mhm.
I feel a very strong, beautiful, wonderful connection with them, and it's beautiful. When I first met her, was at a back to school night,
Mhm.
and then it wasn't anything between him and I, and then I helped out at a school dance, and she was there, and he's like, "Don't you have something to tell her?" And I'm like, "Oh my God," like I. It's wonderful. It's a beautiful relationship. And with the little one, of course, I'm always defending him. They're always bickering like dad and son, but it's wonderful.
That's wonderful. And so being 24, does that make you want to have children? Or you feel like, okay, this is a great relationship. I'm getting some kind of mothering in. How do you feel about that?
Of course. I mean, if it were to happen anytime soon, it happens, and I think that I'm ready for it. I'm open. I trust me. I love kids. I work with them every day.
Yeah.
At the field I'm in, it has taught me a lot. I guess, and I think that I'm able to grow, and having them around me all the time, it also helps me. It gives me a different type of love. You know what I
Mhm.
mean?
Yeah. Yeah, I think I do. I want to ask you, I'm going to just go back to some of the comments, but I want you to think on this and then I'll ask you to provide me an answer. Because Tyann, I think, is one of your coworkers, and she
Yeah.
says nobody is shaking their heads. But I wonder, when you all first started dating, did you have any concerns that people were going to be chiming in and saying anything? Before you answer that, let me go back to some of the comments really quickly. Let's see. Okay. Oh, Norman Joke says, I always dated older men when I had dated men my age. Even at my age now, I feel like they act immature. Thank you for that. I agree with Sandra Beaver. She's saying you all are a beautiful couple. I think absolutely. Dawn Renee says she has a beautiful spirit, even on camera. I agree. I agree. Yep, they both are great people. Janita Harrell. Hey, Gabby, she says. Hey, Janita, I guess you're joining because of Gabby, and I appreciate that. I hope that you will come back to Love and
That's
Stuff.
my coworker.
Friends.
That's my sister.
Okay, great. Thank you so much for coming. I hope you will tag some folks that will join us in the conversation. Rashida says, the glam Dr. Williams, Happy New Year. She says, I say, love who loves you. People want to control your narrative. I think that's so true. Control your own narrative. That might be a good hashtag. Tony Booker has joined us. Thank you, Dr. Booker, for coming in. I hope you will join us on screen. Sheila Boyd says, in this world, we have to love who loves us. I'd love to have Sheila Boyd in, Gabby. Sheila is an aneurysm survivor, and she has gone through rehab to walk and talk again. And I love that she's here tonight. And I think you have said something great. We have to love who loves us. I think that's true.
And Marcus, can I just say something? Like,
Yes.
I don't know if you heard a couple of weeks ago, the young man, the 34-year-old ESPN newscaster that died of pneumonia.
I did.
We're in a world where it's not promised.
It's
So
not.
if you could find somebody and fall in love, no matter the age, that's what you should do, because nothing is guaranteed.
Yeah, I believe we have to be about the business of getting all of that love that's in us expended, be it in a relationship, be it with our children. And that's why I'm on this mission. You know that, Arnaldo.
Yes, sir.
Because I think we got to have a sense of urgency around who we love, how much we love, because the world so desperately needs that.
Exactly.
Yeah. Latita, am I saying Lita Landry? Is this another friend? We got some folks coming. Older men have always been attracted to me. I was attracted to them because I wanted a father, as long as he's not using her or vice versa. Put God first and enjoy life. Thank you for that. What's the age difference? Anybody? They're 24 years apart. Our parents can't pick and choose who we love. That's so true. Yeah, 24 years. Okay, right there. They're not the topic, but they're a great parallel. So I appreciate it. The topic is really about a 50-year-old and his 46-year-old wife who are kind of having a disagreement. The daughter, who is 27, which means the mom was very young having the daughter, by the way, but the daughter's 27 and she's dating a 49-year-old. Her dad is 50. So they could be friends, right? But the mom brings this attention. Hey, our 24-year-old's dating a 38-year-old. So is there a double standard here? What, should we just let love be and see if it fizzles out? If it does, it does. If it doesn't, let's let them love. The dad is saying, no, I don't agree with that. And so we brought it from the inbox to see what you think. Let's see. Tina Gibson has joined us. To each their own. Tyann says the man seems to have the most disdain about this. The men. Yeah, I think that's why I wanted to get Arnaldo's thinking about his role as a father instead of his role as Gabby's beau, right? Because Gabby's beautiful, so it's hard to overshadow that, right? But I wanted to get him to shift and think about his role as dad, and he kind of had the same thing. Well, it depends on the maturity level. It depends on the factors and variable. And I kind of tend to agree with that. Your children to some degree, whether or not they're mature enough to handle relationships at all, or handle relationships where there could be age differences that might bring its own set of challenges. So you kind of have to go case by case. So I don't think it's cookie cutter, as I think Modera would disagree with me from his experience and background, but just for mine, and mine isn't, clinically based as his might be, but I don't think that you can just broad base with a broad sweep or stroke, if you will, everybody in every situation. So I'm going to come back and ask you that, Gabby. I'm almost forgot the question. It's been so many great comments. What was the question? Do you remember the question?
You said something about me being concerned about what other people think, something like that.
At the job, right. Tyann said, hey, we're not shaking our heads. But when you first started dating, now how did it come across? Did he come up to you and, give you one of those sweet one-liners? How did you know that he was interested? And what were your thoughts when you first met him?
Well, my area is in guidance. So I sit in guidance. That's where I work. And one day I hadn't seen him, he happened to come into the office and ask one of the guidance secretaries, hey, like, who's she? So, she introduced us, and then he said something I can tell you perfectly, Marcus. He said, closed mouths don't get fed. Never spoke, never said anything. And from there, that's where it all started. We went on a date, and since then, we just clicked, and it went from there.
Okay. And so you went on a date. Were you thinking, geez, he's older? Or were you thinking, what will my coworkers think? What were your thoughts?
No, because I was really, we have a guidance counselor. Her name is Ms. Gonzalez, and she was the first to know. I was, going through some things I had told my mom already, and she wasn't on the same page. So I turned to her. She was also in a similar situation with her husband. So she was someone that I could relate to. And she really, helped me out. She talked to me, and she helped me in the situation. So it wasn't like, oh, what are they going to think? It was just, hey, well, like turned to love, and here we are. It's January, so this February it'll be a year that they found out about us,
Yeah.
and it's been fine ever since. Everyone knows. I think the whole school knows at this point.
Yeah.
So it's fine.
That's great, because in some organizations people are not mature enough to handle workplace romances,
Right.
So that's really great to hear. I want to jump back to some of the comments a little bit. I've dated both older men my age, and younger men. Age doesn't mean that person is mature. The older men that I dated were insecure and played dumb games, so were the ones my age, so were the younger. It's about the maturity of the person and their healing, not the age. Thank you, Dawn Renee. David Carter says a little different. It's impossible for her to be on this level from a mental standpoint because she's mathematically hasn't been living long enough. What do you think about that, Gabby?
I don't agree,
Okay.
But, point of view, opinions, that's fine. I think that just because of my age, it doesn't mean, oh, I haven't lived enough. Yeah, I may not have experienced certain things, and, I may have not, I don't know what people call living. What is your definition?
Right.
I mean, I think that my part of living was going to school, doing what I like to do, finishing, doing it quickly so I can hurry up and start working and doing what I like. I mean, if that's what you consider living, I think I've done enough of it. I've done a lot. And I mean, I'm not going to just sit and, yeah, okay, I have a master's. I aspire to do more. You know, I joke with him all the time. He's doing his doctor. I'm like, one day I'll be able to do what you're doing. But that's not in my immediate future right now. I mean, it will get done when I feel ready for it. So if that's what you think it's living, then hey, I'm doing it now. So
Got it. Janita Harrell says, don't forget the balloon. I guess there was a balloon along the pathway.
yes. Oh, sister. Yes. Can't forget the balloon. Exactly a month after we went on our date, we went on our first date, October 16th. November 16th, I got an edible arrangement with this big balloon, and it was from, anonymous, and it said Te amo, and he wrote like a nice poem, and she's like, who's sending you this stuff? Who is this person? And it was November, and I'm over here red blushing, and probably I'm blushing now, and she didn't let it go. Trust me. It was a fun moment in that office that day.
Great story. She also says, I find it interesting that so many people's parents are this into their children's relationships. My parents never interfere with my relationships. They raised me to be smart about my choices and they trusted me. Good point, Janita. Thank you for that. Lita Landry, I'm so glad that you love it. Please share it with your friends. Thank you so much. Eric Kelly Sr. Is watching with us. So while I have you both here, and before I go to our senior associate producer, Arnaldo, slide in the camera with Gabby.
Yes, sir.
And so I want you all, if you would give some advice to these parents about, maybe they should or shouldn't have a position on this. Maybe they should just stand back and let it be. But what advice would you give to them to help them kind of contend with their positions, their opinions?
My advice would be, I just feel that, if I could talk to my parents and if I could say this to them, just be supportive. Let things go how they're going to go. You can't interfere. You can't stop something that isn't going to be stopped. Just be there for your child. Be there. Talk to them. Support them. Tell them, I will be here for you if things go wrong or if things go right. Just be there, because it's hard not having your mom to talk to when you want to talk to them or when you want to, I don't know, random things. It's tough. It's tough not having that. It's tough not having your family there when special dates come around, like Christmas or New Year's or Thanksgiving. Like, I can't see my family. I'm not allowed to see my little sister. I love my little sister, so things like that, it's really hard. It's Christmas. I see how we're so happy together, and I can't have people that I love, that I grew up with, my sister who means everything to me. I can't have her with me. So just that support, it's just very, very important. And just understand it, hear her out, and if it works out, great. If it doesn't, then you'll be there too. I mean, parents, you're not supposed to go anywhere. You're supposed to be there unconditionally.
Yeah.
That's just my biggest advice.
Okay. Arnaldo?
I basically second everything she said. I mean, because I even asked, hey, what are your folks doing for this day, or what are they doing? Why don't you give them a call? Like, I'm the one edging her on the call, and unfortunately, it's always been a slap in the face, and then I have to sit here and watch how sad she is, But definitely, because I don't have a relationship with my mom. We were just saying yesterday, like, my mom doesn't even know my younger two. Not my choice, but it's just how the situation has worked out. And family is family. You're supposed to support one another. And I just really pay attention to the state of society. Popeye's chicken sandwich, people killing and fighting each other. Just a lot of, and the individual talked about trauma. Yeah, I admit that I had trauma growing up, but I dealt with my trauma.
Mm-hmm.
There are a lot of people out here, which is why we have so much violence, that have not dealt with trauma. They feel like they resort to just pulling out a gun or a knife and handling that in that situation. Social media has just taken people to a different level where we are unable to just communicate and have a conversation. So knowing the state that we're in, I'm all about my happiness. Like I'm I just want to be happy.
Mhm.
And I know I'm very spiritual. You know, the Latino background brings in spirituality, and I feel like if I do dirt to this young lady living in my grandmother's house, I probably would not be able to sleep. Like I feel like my grandmother talks to me, so it's important for me. She knows I'm not doing any dirt, and
Mhm.
I enjoy coming home. So if my advice, be happy, support your children. You
Mhm.
know, we made mistakes growing up. You
Mhm.
know, um, so just really support, and if they're happy,
Mhm.
support them in their happiness.
Okay. And before I let the two of you go, in 10 years, where do you all see yourselves as a couple in 10 years?
Gosh,
I'm gonna give you a second to think about that. I'm going to some of the comments. David Carter says, not saying you're dumb, but I'm pretty sure you can look at a 14-year-old girl at see the difference in maturity in you and her. Yeah, I think if that's related to Gabby's comment, I think David, what she's saying is that, but she's 24 and she's had some experience in going to college and going to school and working, and that to her is life experience. So depends on how an individual defines values and uses, more importantly, from my vantage point, from my opinion, you could have a lot of life space. You can be 38 years old and have never used your experience to maximize or optimize your life. So does that mean that you've really lived? You know what I'm saying? So if you've not had any experience, you've not traveled, you've gone to work 9 to 5, and that's all you've done for the years since you left college or high school, does that really mean that you have a lot of life's experience? So I'm not sure that age necessarily means that you're going to garner a lot of life experience. I do believe between 20 and 35, your life is changing more in that time space to set you up for future periods. But life again is about what you do with what you learn and not so much just what you learn, if that makes any sense.
Exactly.
Lita Landry says, I will share. Thank you. Thank you so much for that. Kim God is my hero Jones has joined us. Thank you so much. That's why I couldn't respond to you. You were inboxing me. Okay, Don Renee Ori. True, my dear. I pray for you all to reconcile so that you can have all of your family. Me too. When you were saying that, I did see some sadness in your eyes, Gabby. And I thought, oh, gee, because I think I had the best mother in the world. Everybody who's had a good mother says that, but I can't imagine not having had that relationship with her. She's an angel on the other side on the balcony of eternity cheering me on, I'm sure. But I can't imagine what my life space would be if I didn't have that relationship and support. If I wasn't able to have her and my dad and siblings, and so my heart went out to you when I was hearing you say, hey, I can't be with my sister during the holidays. And what's the holidays if you can't have your family? And that's what it's really about. I mean, we put presents under the tree and they can be really great presents. I got an air fryer. I was so happy, but I was more happy that my niece was bringing me joy and peace and love. And that was what's most important. So my heart went out to you to hear that. Parents, stay out your kids' life. Let them love who they want. My daughter have 4 kids with her husband, been together 14 years, married 9. I don't get in their stuff as long as nobody touching each other. Great point. Aria Moody has joined us. Thank you so much for coming to Love and Stuff. I hope that you will click share, tag 5 of your closest Facebook friends, 5 of your more popular Facebook friends to join the discussion. And don't forget to go to our page, go to community, click on invite friends, and invite all of your friends if you enjoy any of this content to help us help people up their love game. So to the question, 10 years, where will you all be as a couple?
I have visions of hopefully I'll finish my doctorate in another 2 to 3 years. I don't know what it'll be professionally. I'm like, I can see us working together because we work with the same population. Um, I would hope that we're married there by then. You know, that's something I'm definitely hoping for.
Okay.
I'd actually like, you know, one or two more bambinos running around.
Okay.
Um, and I mean, I think just really enjoying life. Like we talk about traveling, where different places that we want to go and things like that. So that's where I see it. It's just really enjoying life. And I think, you know, she heard me the other day. I said at this point, you know, it's not even about gifts for me. It's about creating memories.
Hmm. Okay. And Gabby, what do you think?
Hey, he brought up the marriage, so I mean, you heard it here, Marcus.
I heard it here first.
You heard it here first. So I mean, family. My family was broken. I have a family now, you know, somebody who's here for me all the time. The kids, they're here to make me smile, make me laugh. Family. I want that, you know, that's something that I want, that I need, you know, and I have it with them. They
Mhm.
bring me happiness all the
Mhm.
time, every day, all day they're here.
That's awesome.
And I mean,
Wonderful.
and can I just, I'm gonna say this to before we, like, with the three kids, I was so wrapped up in my kids' lives that I used to forget about me. And
Mhm.
now every other weekend, when the kids leave for like 5 days,
Mhm.
um, from Friday until Wednesday, every other
Mhm.
weekend,
Mhm.
you know, we get to really do things. And
Mhm.
I enjoy that. Either if it's just sitting here or us going out to breakfast or brunch or grocery shopping or, you know, so I really feel like I'm, you know, I'm living life now. You
Okay.
know, even as a person who has a full-time job, teaching twice at night, doing my doctorate, I still make sure she would never be able to say you're not making time for me, because I do make sure a month between everything else, I'm making time for her, I'm making time for us as well. And I think that's very important. And if going back to that young man, if his daughter is happy and that young man, that the young man, the gentleman is treating her right, allow their happiness to flourish.
All right. One more comment, then I'm gonna let you go. Valencia says he has to be open to the evolution of her personhood.
Hmm.
His support as she continues to grow will be the key. I wish you both the best. What do you think about that?
I,
Being open to how Gabby might evolve as a person and individual.
I always
And
tell her, I said, you outside of me and us, you need to make sure that you have a life also. You know, go out with your friends, find a hobby, and do different things. I definitely want her to grow, because without growth, you're stumped. You know,
Mhm.
and we don't ever want to be stumped. I don't want to be stumped. I don't want her to be stumped. You
Mhm.
know, and I say, hey, I'm doing my doctor. Sometimes I'm sitting in here, you know, enjoy yourself. Go out and do
Mhm.
different things, even if it's with the kids, if it's with their friends. I definitely encourage that, because her intentions are good and she has a
Mhm.
good heart.
Mhm.
Um, and she's a very, you know, very to the various power. She's a very genuine individual,
Mhm.
you know, and even at work, like, no, we don't take no drama to work, Mark. Is this everybody knows? And I mean, my principal, you know, the assistant principal, you know, very supportive. And
Mhm.
you know, they always say, "How do you deal with him?" Because they know I'm a clown, you know, and so that's just really important. But I do want her to grow. I encourage her, you know, don't just grow professionally, but grow personally.
Mhm. Okay. Wonderful. Well, I wish you the best. I think, I now know why Arnaldo was smiling so much. And I'm happy for you both. And
Thank
it
you.
seems to work for you. What works for you works for you.
Yeah, we're gonna have to make it. We're gonna have to come out there to Detroit, Marcus.
Yes.
Either you're coming here or we're bringing love and stuff to you, one or the other. Definitely. I think it's important that we show the world that love comes in so many different ways, and you just have to be
Exactly.
able to do it.
Hey,
Exactly.
Okay.
Marcus.
Hey, Jay Gerald.
Hey, how y'all doing?
Good.
Listen, Arnaldo and Gabby, before y'all leave, I just want y'all to be encouraged.
Thank you.
Um, your love for one another has shown on the screen in ways that no other person can deny.
Thank you.
And I want y'all to be encouraged. I want y'all to keep loving each other. Don't let nobody discourage you.
Thank you.
No matter what, even the comments, we all got your back.
Thank
We
you.
want you to be happy, and your happiness is the number one thing.
Thank you.
No matter what you've gone through in the past, no matter what relationships that you've gone through in the past, we know and we see it in you that you are happy, and we want you to continue being happy. Share your love with so many other people, because so many people are locked up in relationships that they can't get out of. They don't know how to get out of. They're locked up in their own feelings and their own situations. They're locked up in how they view love should be. But we see in you that love can be free and be free to flourish. And so we thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
We
you.
appreciate the kind words.
Yes. And we're hoping that things go well with your family. I'm just gonna have to pray and think that they will see the power of this love. And I think love is a contagion, and hopefully it will infect them and affect them to kind of reconciliation. So thank you both.
Thank you.
Marcus. Thank you.
All right. So we're thankful for them. J. Gerald, that was awesome. I got to plug in. So get Mama V on here and Dawn, and then I will be right back. So come on, J. Gerald.
All right. So come on, Mama V. Come on and get onto Zoom. And I hope that you got the link. And anybody else, I think he said, Dawn, if you have the link, we ask that you come on to Love and Stuff. And let's talk about this topic of how this mother and father should feel about this relationship of their daughter. I know with myself and my daughters, yes, a lot of times, and I saw the comments earlier, that there's a double standard out there when it comes to men and having relationships with older women and versus daughters or young ladies having relationships with older men. There is a double standard. And even I had that same conclusion that there should be a double standard for a long time, until I realized your daughter is going to have a relationship with some man, and you prefer that it be a healthy relationship with someone than for it to be any other type of relationship that is negative affecting to them. So what you think, Marcus, about the double standard?
I know it's a double standard. I know it is. And I know that we being society, we often applaud and laud a man who gets an older woman. It's considered something. Sometimes the woman will be talked about as being called Stella getting her groove back, right? But that young man is considered, some kind of jock, some kind of things I won't say here. But
right.
An older man with a younger woman is often considered a dirty old man. And something sinister is behind him wanting to be with someone younger. And while that could be true in some cases, I don't think that's necessarily the truth in every case, or that he's trying to father her, or he wants to be a sugar daddy, or he wants to control, or I don't think that's the case. I think you heard Arnaldo say, he had dated women in his age group, and he just found that a lot of women in his age group have a lot of baggage. And he didn't want to contend with all of the baggage of all of the relationships because, quite frankly, people should have some kind of detox when they get out of relationships, especially if they were relationships that had some adverse effect or relationships that were not amicably parted, so that they don't carry into the next relationship some of those things that they experienced in the last relationship, because you build up these walls and these sensitivities around things that you experienced in a previous relationship, and you bring those expectations or lack of expectations into the new relationship to someone who is unaware and for lack of a better word, ignorant to those devices. But you hold that person to those expectations or low expectations of, well, he's going to cheat. So I need to pass code to your phone. I remember early on, and I think it was 99 when I first got this particular phone, that phone number I have, it's not the same phone, but phone number. And I remember there wasn't the passcodes on the phone at that time, but I remember when I got a passcode on the phone and somebody picked up my phone and said, oh, you have a passcode on your phone. What's your passcode? And I'm like, now, what is that? Why do you give the passcode to my phone?
Did you give it to him?
What are you hiding? Well, wait a minute. Hold on.
Right.
Why do I have to hide anything? What's the hiding about? But if you have in your mind that people put passcodes to hide stuff, and then you need the passcode to search somebody's phone, I often tell people, if you have to search her phone or search his phone, throw the phone out.
Right.
If you can't trust that whatever's on that phone belongs to them and they have the rightful use of it, throw it out. Because you really are building a false relationship if you think that people should not be able to have, one, privacy, but two, as an adult, the right to say whatever's in my phone is mine. But I'm not surprised at the number of people who say, oh no, that's a deal breaker. If I cannot have your passcode by the time we're seriously dating, it's a deal breaker. And I think that's just something we learned in a previous relationship where we were able to get that passcode or figure it out and find something. Because if you go looking for something, you're going to find it. And we go finding something that we don't really want, but we think we want. And we carry that forward into the next relationship. And so I think that's important. Rhonda C. Nance has joined us, as well as Stacy English, who hasn't been here for a number of weeks. I'm so glad. Happy New Year's. Thank you for coming back. Autumn Nicole Holmes is here. Look at that. Thank you for coming to Love and Stuff, sweetie girl. Okay, Valencia, we're looking for you to come on. Don, Renee, looking for you to come on. Looking for the link, Dawn says. Let's see if I can drop the link in there again.
Tell her to go to, if she goes to the Love and Stuff page, if she logs out and goes back in, go to the Love and Stuff page, the link is there.
Okay, and I just put the link again in ours. I don't know if you have to cut and paste it. Looks like the way it's populating, it's not populating as the button as I see it on my screen, but you can certainly cut and paste it and drop it in your browser and it should come up. Lakita Williams, thank you for coming to Love and Stuff. I hope all of you that have joined will click, share, tag 5 of your closest Facebook friends, 5 of your more popular Facebook friends to join in the discussion. We are close to 3,000 followers and we have no one else to thank but you. And we're asking that you will help us to get to 20,000. One of the ways that you can help us get there is by going to our Love and Stuff page, going to the section that says community, clicking on invite friends, and then select all of your friends and send them an invite. If you've enjoyed any of the Love and Stuff content, now is the time to share it with all of your friends and help us get to 20,000 followers, which will take us to the next level and us being able to collaborate with other brands. We are pursuing other brands to partner with us to embolden, enliven, enlarge this platform. And it will also give us access to in-stream ads. You see those commercials that happen during different videos. Well, we can now have them in our live videos, much like you would in TV, but we'll have shorter ads, of course, because we don't want you to go anywhere. We don't want to say, don't touch that button. So we want you to be able to enjoy advertisers, but stay with the show. Eunice Shaw Peak has joined us. Thank you so much for coming to Love and Stuff. Appreciate you. Arnaldo says, yep, if a person has experienced being in an unfaithful relationship, they bring that into the next one and they feel that passcode is justified. Our experiences shape us both negatively and positively. That's why I say I'm trying to work on a ton of shows, right? We need more producers than Jay Gerald. He's got to work for real until we can pay him, right? But a lot of people that have come out of relationships want to get into new relationships, and I don't blame them for that. If you're the relationship type and you want to get into a long-term relationship moving toward marriage, I don't blame you for that. That's great. But if you get out of a relationship and you don't have some kind of detox or some kind of healing, provided that that relationship had some break in it, right? Some way you didn't part amicably. And so you need to have a detox. And so I want to have these detox sprints with some professionals and some counselors that will talk to people who may not be aware that you're getting ready to carry some things from a previous relationship that you haven't resolved. You should resolve those things and don't take them in the relationship in a way that you hold them against other people. You will take the experiences with you because it makes you a better person, right? You learn things of what to do, what not to do, what to experience, what not to experience. But if you take those things as expectations in the next relationship, it can be damaging from the start. So you kind of have to watch that. And so people like Mama V, and then I've got some other professionals, some love gurus who I want to talk to, some people who are saying, I'm ready, because people are inboxing me now. And I keep telling them the disclaimer is, number one, I'm single. Number two, I'm not a psychologist. I started that track in school and I didn't continue it. So that's a disclaimer. But people are always coming to me saying, hey, I'm ready to get in a relationship. Who do you know? Who's available? And so I ask them these 5 questions. And I say, one of the questions I say, how do you know you're ready for a relationship?
Mm-hmm.
And we spend some time there. And then I ask them, what did you do wrong in the last relationship that you're not going to do in this one? And most people say to me, it wasn't me, it was him. It wasn't me, it was her. I say, you're not ready.
Not ready.
Because even if that person cheated on you and no one deserves to be cheated on, is there something in that relationship that you can identify that you did that you're going to do differently in the next relationship? It may not stop a cheater, but where is your responsibility for how you're going to move in the next relationship? So I ask these questions and then they're like, so you basically saying you're not going to oh no, I don't do that.
So they ignored or something?
I know exactly who I'm bringing in for Cupid. I don't do Cupid with everybody, but I want people to be
No, you were busy on the TV. I didn't know what you were doing.
Hi.
Looked like you were looking at living single.
Hello. Hi.
Single moms.
Hi, Dawn.
I got you.
That's
Dawn.
not me. That's not me.
That's not you. Lakita.
Yeah.
Okay, somebody's got something going on in the background.
Okay.
That's the key.
I love live.
Lakita, you need to honey.
You can't beat it. So I'm going to have these sprints, is what I'm calling them, Mama V. And I hope that you can make some time to be involved in them. For the tons of people that are inboxing me and saying, I'm ready for my next relationship. And bless their hearts, they are ready, but they're not ready here. They're ready kind of here. And there's some disconnection about those two.
Here? What's here?
What's here?
No, don't answer that. We good.
Okay.
So let me do this. So we need to have that discussion on a different show. As your producer, we're going to have that discussion on a different show. So let's stick to the topic at hand.
No. I wasn't going to that discussion. Thank you for helping to navigate.
All right.
I was just saying that I'm going to have Mama V as one of the people on there. That's what I was saying. We're still on topic.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate it.
All right.
Lakita has joined us, though I can't see your face, Lakita, so you got to activate your video. And Dawn Renee has joined us as well as Mama V, Valencia Etner, Pastor Valencia Etner. Welcome.
Hello.
Thank you.
So since I have all ladies, I want to ask you this question first, that have just recently joined us. And Lakita, I still can't see your face. Have any of you dated men that were 10, 15 years your senior? I think Dawn said that you dated younger.
I dated older and younger.
Have you dated men that were 10, 15 years your senior?
I
Yeah.
have.
And did you notice any age differences that became challenges for you?
When younger, no. Older, yes.
So when you dated older, yes?
No, listen. When I was younger,
Mm-hmm.
no. But now that I'm older, yes.
Okay. Now tell me, now that you're older, when you're dating older men, what's the issue?
I can't do it. No, I'm just kidding. Okay, I'm gonna be real for a second.
Should I
I'm
leave
of
the
a certain
room?
age. Listen,
I
I'm
leave
of
the
a
room?
certain- Listen, I'm of a
Just give us a
certain
second.
age, but I'm
Just
not
a
of a
second
certain
now.
age.
Should I leave the room?
No, I'm of a
Okay.
certain age, but I'm not of a certain age.
So what you're saying about, should I leave the room?
No,
Okay.
no,
So
no, not at all.
are
It-
you
it has
are you saying,
nothing to do with that other place you talked about. It has nothing to do with that.
okay.
It has to do with a mindset
Mhm.
of men beyond a certain age.
Okay.
I am at that kind of that line
Okay.
where older for me is 70. Okay.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
And I'm not 70 material.
Okay.
I'm younger
And tell me why you're not 70s material.
because most people I know in their 70s are on that other side of the mountaintop kind of situation. They're just trying to kind of live life out peacefully and chill and enjoy, their television show, their football game, and have a good meal sitting on the stove. I'm not that girl.
Got it.
So that's just not what's best for me. And it has nothing to do with people who are there.
Got it.
And I'm cool with that. But if that's where you are, that's good. But my life is routine because of my calling, not because of my necessarily desire to be stuck in anybody's box. I'm not going to do that.
Got
And
it.
so while I am, and I don't mind people knowing I'm 58 because I know I'll look like it, so I'm good. Anyway,
No, you
I'm
don't.
58 years old, but I cannot be on slow down, stop, because that makes you old. And, I need to keep moving. I need to
Got
keep
it.
moving. I need to keep
And in all candid, being candid, I thought I needed to leave the room. I thought you were about to tell me something else, and I was going to
No,
say
dear,
I
I
need to
wouldn't do
leave the
that
room.
to you in public either.
Okay, because I was going to leave the room.
No, you're good.
Okay.
But
All right.
Facebook would have still been here, and everybody that was watching would still be in the room.
Right.
Just stay here.
Right.
No, we're good. No, I wouldn't.
Okay. And so, Dawn, you have also dated men that are older. Did that present a problem for you when you were younger or now?
So so when I was younger, it didn't present a problem because I am my people have always said I am wise beyond my years.
Mhm.
Okay.
So it doesn't you can't outthink me in terms of where you are, because my brain thinks 20 years ahead. I've always been that way. So
Okay.
no, it's not been a problem in terms of that.
Mhm.
What the problem was for me was that the people that I was dating that were older was insecure about me being younger,
Yeah.
or was trying to play the game because they had. Well, so the most recent one was 10 years older than me. I just turned 50. He was on his way to 60 and still playing the 29 game.
Mhm.
You got dismissed real bye. Ain't nobody got time for that. I'm listen. No time. I didn't have time for that in my 30s. I definitely don't have time for that in my
In your
50s.
50s, you do
By
not.
person, you got to know. So that's why I said it doesn't matter about the age range or the
Mhm.
level of quote unquote life experience. If you're an old soul, if you have wisdom beyond your years, if you are somebody that is about the thing and is like an entrepreneur, you are not slowing down and you are not taking all the crazy. You can't. Nobody got time for that.
Yeah. So I thought it was interesting because, Modera earlier, he was really very passionate about, the 24 years being gap being just inappropriate. And I think he said dysfunctional even. Um, and I'm going to get your take on that in 1 second. Lakita, you can turn your mic on. So you're there quietly. And I wanted to ask you, have you dated? Welcome, first of all. Thank you for
Hi.
coming. Have you dated men older, 10 years, 15 years older?
Well, I guess you can call it dating. There was a guy who was interested, and we still talk because he does real estate. He's 60 now.
Okay.
I'm 44.
Okay.
One of the things that now I'm coming out of a marriage, so I'm recently divorced. With that being stated, you trying to learn. For me, you're trying to learn what you like, what you don't like, what you want to put up with, what you don't want to put up with. So
Mhm.
for me, he's a busy guy. He keeps himself busy, active, and whatnot. However, when he started having issues health wise, I had to ask myself, do I want to deal with that?
Mhm.
Or there was this thing where he was like, okay, can you scratch my back? I'm like, I don't know if I want to do that. And that was like almost something he would request often. That's not something I want to do. And it's just little things like that. It's like I don't want to be irritated by. So with that being stated, his age for me wasn't much of a bother to some extent, but there were
Mhm.
certain aspects. It was like if I don't like you enough to actually tolerate it, then I don't want to be bothered by
Mhm.
it.
And my senior associate producer is going to get on me because he's going to think I'm going off topic. But uh, do you want to get married again?
I do.
Okay. And do
Um,
you think that
I'm
you need
just
some kind of detox in between since you were out of a marriage? Do you think that would be helpful?
Yeah, of course, of
Okay.
course. The thing about it is, though, even though I'm recently divorced, we've probably been separated for 2 years.
Okay.
So I get it, you know. For me, as far as my emotions, the connection with my ex is not, you know what I'm saying? That's fine and gone. As far as I'm concerned, I've forgiven him
Mhm.
and let him live his best life.
Mhm.
I
Mhm.
can't say the same for him because I don't know. We don't talk on that level.
Mhm.
However, I've moved on.
Mhm.
So,
Okay.
yeah, I understand the detox, but trust and know I still believe in love. I don't minimize what the benefits of it and everything. And I want to be able to feel that again.
Okay, good for you. And ladies, have all of you also dated men 10 or 15 years younger than you at any point in your life along the journey?
Yes.
No.
Yes.
Okay. I heard a no, a yes, and I see a head shaking because your mic is off, Mama B. Your mic's off.
Yeah.
Okay, there you go. And so, how was that? How was that for the two of you that have dated younger? And then, Lakita, I'll come back to you to ask you why you hadn't, maybe because you've been married a period of time, maybe so. But the ladies that have been dated younger, much younger, how was that?
You want to go, Mama B, or you want me to go?
No, go on, Dade, because I'm gonna shock him. So go on.
So let me first start with the reason why I started dating younger.
Okay.
How do I put this politely?
No, don't put it politely.
They was trash.
Okay.
Men, my age. Not that, okay. Not my friends.
Mhm.
Okay. Should I say that? Not my friends? Because we've known each other for a long time, those three, and they was a mess too. They were a mess. They, I guess it was just so much Black woman in Detroit that
Mm.
they could just be a mess.
Mhm.
And the women were taking it.
Mhm.
And I didn't want that. And no matter if I dated 2 years older, 2 years younger, 1 year older, right my age, I would get, it was like I had married men magnet across what is wrong?
That part. Mm-hmm.
What is wrong with you? Have a whole entire wife at home. Go take you and your parts home to your wife. And because of all of that, I was like, I don't want to deal with this at all. I don't want to be a harem member, even though there were times when I was a head harem member. I don't want to be a harem member. And so because of that,
Mm-hmm.
I was like, away with you all. And I started getting approached because I look younger. I started getting approached by younger men. I still get approached by younger men.
Okay.
And, you know, some of them I have to say, listen, you my sons, ain't no way in the world I'm about to date you because I know I wiped some people's butts your age, gone somewhere. So I won't date somebody my son's age or younger.
Okay.
That's just
Okay.
my own rule, right?
Okay.
But in terms of why I started, because the type of men that I attract at that age, I
Mhm.
don't know where they brilliant, wonderful, loving, caring. I'm not trying to be your mother. I have a son I'm dealing with right here. You know, if you're here for that whole dynamic of dating an older woman who has a child,
Mhm.
let's do it. And for the last, what's it doing? I've dated 3 that were younger.
Mhm.
One lasted 7 years, one lasted 8 years, one last how long we're going on 10 years now. And you know, some of them, you know, we weren't at a place of marriage. Some of them we were planning for marriage and it didn't happen. Now, you know, I'm good. I mean, if I get married again, it's wonderful. But if I don't get married again at this point and today, and I'm not gonna say that for 2 weeks from now, because I might want a husband, right? Not that I don't, Lord, not that I don't, because I do eventually.
I'm just not going to.
Talk to him.
But just not today.
But not at this very second. And the
Got it.
reason why I don't is because I know what it takes for me to be me. And there are very few men who are willing to let me do that and be their wife.
Got it. Okay.
So that's
Before Mama B chimes in, James Williams, Bishop Williams, thank you for coming. Willie Rogers has come. Tamika Miko McMillan has come. And Soundproof Jazz has come. I hope all of you are following us on Love and Stuff. If you're not, I hope you will click Love and Stuff today. And I hope that you will click share and tag 5 of your closest Facebook friends, 5 of your more popular. Mama V, before you come, Don, tell me this. How much younger were these 3? You said one relationship was 8 years, 7 years, and 10 years. So how much younger were these men than you?
All within 10 years.
Okay. Okay.
So the one that was the youngest, I think I was 12. Well, no, okay, so 12 years. I think I was 12 years older than him.
Okay.
He didn't believe me. It took him a long time to believe that I was older. Not because I act so young, but because he just kept saying, no, women your age don't look like this, so you can't be that age. You're lying. Where's your? And I would, you know, that's just where it was with it.
Yeah. Okay.
So,
all right.
Yeah.
Mama V.
Ooh, yeah. Wait a minute. First of all, Bishop, don't inbox me and tell me nothing later, for real. I love you. I love you, Bishop James Williams. You're my friend for life. Okay.
and he will.
Okay.
And,
So
and he
here.
will.
Yeah, I know. See, my internet connection wants to go unstable. See, it knows. So this is the deal. I'm gonna be real 100 about this.
Mm-hmm.
There have been men 20 years my junior who have tried, but I realized that they want cougar. They want to be, as my godson, my 33-year-old godson says, they want to be sponsored. I'm not a sponsorer. So therefore, I've learned that what that young of an age wants from me, I don't have to give them. And what they have to offer me, I don't need enough of to put up with it. Okay, let's just put that over there in that pot.
Okay.
Now, there are those who have approached, I've been out with, it has not been a relationship,
Okay.
who are 15, probably 15 years. And the reason I kind of feel like that has been okay on some levels. This is my rule of thumb. It's a stupid rule of thumb, but it's my rule of thumb.
Okay.
If my music and your music don't clash, we can probably hang out. So if you are old enough as soul to respect the music that's important to me, I'm young enough as soul to respect the music that's still important to you. And as long as you are not of a certain age, as long as you're not 40, 45, and you still like, used to call me on your cell phone is your favorite song, I'm okay. If you like Guy and Backstreet and that kind of thing, we can roll. You ain't got to. I mean, I don't have to have Motown, but I gotta, and I'm being secular about this, even as a pastor, because we real people, y'all. Hello, we real people. But you also have to respect that I have a calling, and that my life is really not my own most of the time. So what happens to me with older men most of the time is they want to tell me what I don't have time for, because I don't have time to go sit around and look at TV with them. My point is, younger men tend to be about that life of making it happen and making things go. And maybe I was a late bloomer, and if I was, so be it. But that's where I am now. And for me to be with someone who is, that we are iron is sharpening iron in our lives, tends to mean I have to go a few years younger. Because those who are looking for retirement, they're in their late 50s, they're, about to be 60, and we had my class reunion this summer. Most of the people in my class are looking toward their retirement. I'm not even looking there because I have stuff to do.
Got it.
So it means that I have to kind of balance that. And so that typically means younger.
Got it.
Because they're still about living. Yeah, go on, Danae, I'm done.
So, yeah, go ahead.
So to tag that, one of the things that I like best about the man that I'm with right now is at the end of the year, I kept saying, babe, I want us to do something together. I need us to do something. Let's talk about what we're going to do together. And rather than talking about it, he knows me. He brought the opportunity for 3 different franchises and said, let's pick one together and let's do that. Because he understands how I operate. I'm not saying that, I don't want to slow down. I get that. I get her saying, you too old for me if you telling me I need to come and cook your cornbread. Anybody got time? We can hire somebody for that. That's not my highest and best use. That's not my highest and best use.
Yes, ma'am.
We can hire somebody for that. We can hire somebody to clean. I trust me, she'll cook the Southern food that you want, and we can sit down together and eat it at the table when she leaves. And I'll be there at around 5:30 when I'm done.
Okay. I want to ask all 3 of you a couple of questions or discussion around similarities or differences when you're talking to older men and younger men. I think we lost Lakita. Older men or younger men around finances, goals, and sex. What are the conversation similarities or differences when you're talking to an older man about sex, if you do talk about sex, or talk about goals, or talk about finances? Is it different than when you talk to a younger man about those things? What are the differences and similarities?
There they go. I have to slide in this conversation lightly. Go for it.
For the conversation with older men, because I have a full life conversation with people. When I start a dating relationship, I have a full life conversation. I talk about what is needed for them and what is needed for me. And so for the older men, when it came to intimacy,
Mm-hmm.
there was a lot of talk about pills.
Mm.
And things like that.
Quiet.
There was a lot of talk in terms of finances.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
There was a lot of secrecy
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
because initially going into the conversation, the veil of on them, they, you know, on him, he wanted it to be down. But on me, he wanted it to be, and I'm never a person to keep a veil. Now, if I'm in a relationship with you, listen, okay, I need to go do what I have to do, and I'll be here, 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 and here, and I'll call you in between. That's not because I want you to, I'm beholden to you, but that's just my nature.
I want to do it. Yeah.
I want to be transparent in it.
Mm-hmm.
For him, it was more like, I need to keep this veil, but it was because, and again, that's why he got dismissed very quickly. Bye, because he was playing games.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So, and when I called him out on the games, he was just like, well, baby, what? You what? I mean, the conversation was very clear. So now you know you have to go, right? Like, right? So that was that part. And in terms of, you said finances and goals.
Yes.
Goals for the older man was more on the side of retirement. He was trying to sell his businesses. He was trying to sell his house. He was trying to, you know, sell the horse ranch part of the land. He was trying to, you know, close out things so that he could retire. That was his whole thing. I'm tired. I want to retire. Now, in his defense, he was working almost nonstop. So for him just to want to sit down somewhere and retire was very understandable. It just wasn't what I needed to do. And his thought was, I'll just come behind you and you could fly.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So that was the conversation in terms of goals for him. And when I shared my goals, he said, okay, well, I retired and you could fly.
Mm-hmm.
And so the dream became, let's mold this together so that I can do what I'm going to do as a person who is going to retire, and you can go ahead and flourish in your business and do what you want to do.
Mm-hmm. And how different is that than discussions you have or similar with younger men?
So the younger man, there's no discussion of any types of pills.
Okay.
Okay. There's a lot of discussion of finances.
Okay.
Because they are interested in building. So they know if there's some building that can be done and I have information or they have information, we can learn it and grow in that together. Right? That's been my experience with the 3 younger men that I've had the longest relationships with. And in terms of the one that I'm dating right now, we have constant discussions about finances. A couple of our bills are together. Because, you know, we have the same phone bill, we have the same, you know what I mean? It's and the franchise will be together. Goals, we support one another separately and together. When it comes to goals, I do my stuff, he does his stuff, but we do our stuff together as well.
Okay.
And we share what the goals are for the life that we're building.
Got it. And Mama B.
Okay. I wanted her to go on because she was going to give you a more normal concept of this thing. I'm not going to be as norm as many people are. Let me start with the elephant in the room. The sexual side of this thing is not something that is not a lifestyle I'm going to live unmarried. Not a lifestyle I'm going to live. I'm not going to tell you I won't mess up. I'm human. You know, things happen, you know, but it's not a lifestyle I'm trying to live. So that becomes probably better for the older one
Mhm.
than for the younger.
Mhm.
And I realize that there are risks that come along with that.
Mhm.
And so, as I said before on this show, my expectation level is really, really low.
Mhm.
Meaning, not your expectation of how you treat me, but just I don't expect much from you, because I realize that the life that I must live is sometimes problematic for some.
Mhm.
And so I don't necessarily expect you to get that unless you're really coming for me.
Mhm.
So unless you're coming for me, if you come for me, you know what comes along with that.
Mhm.
But if you don't come for me, I have no expectation of you in that area. And I'm not going to hold you to anything
Mhm.
because you didn't come for me.
Got it. And so
Okay?
with those men that are younger than you, because you are your Mama V, but you are young and sexy and all of that stuff. So
Thank you, Marcus.
that's a conversation that you all are having pretty early, I would
Absolutely.
imagine.
Absolutely.
Because part of that, black don't crack thing, at least, and J. Gerald can jump in here, is a man is intrigued that you've aged that well, and he wants to see if your prowess is also preserved that well as well.
Yeah, but that comes.
That would be, some conversation up front happening around,
Correct.
the course of this relationship.
But this is the thing. You know who I am. I'm going to tell you who I am up front.
Okay.
And I've got a people and I've got a God to face on a weekly basis. And I'm not about to be shysty with it.
Yeah.
Okay. So if we get caught up, trust me, we're going to both be on somebody's altar. Okay.
Right.
A lot of conversation goes on. Don't get me wrong. It's a whole lot of junk that's said. But as far as action is concerned, I have to be careful about my walk in that area.
Gotcha.
Okay? Financially, I'm a preacher and I don't have a great big old church. Okay. So it's a struggle for me. So I am trying to make sure that I have my credit gets where it needs to be, and make sure that as I age, I'm not in a situation where if I need something, I just can't have it because I haven't done the things that I need to do. People have a misnomer about being in ministry, that people who are in ministry are rolling. It is a lie. 7/8 of us have very little, and we are really just trying to make ends meet like everybody else out here on the planet. And if I'm having that conversation with an older man, back to those secrets you talked about, Danae, is that with an older man, they don't want you in there, necessarily want you in there, what they've put up. They don't want you to know that. They typically have children, grandchildren, that's their money they have put away. So they don't talk to you a lot about what they have up. Now, they may spend liquid cash on you all day long. But as far as what's in the coffers, they're not having that discussion. Younger men, on the other hand, are kind of where you are. They're trying to get it. And so what I'm grateful for is in many situations, there is discussion about what are you doing and how can we maybe, find a place where we can work this thing together so it's a win-win for everybody. And especially those who happen to be in ministry on any level. I don't mean they're necessarily preaching or pastors, but they understand ministry and community and that kind of thing. And so that becomes a blessing, because there's some people out here trying to do some things. And so that becomes a blessing for everybody. And so the goals and kind of the finances start to have conversation together. Unlike Danae, I'm not in a committed relationship. I'm not in a relationship at all. But I have people that I have conversations with. And at least I know that they're where their head is, should they shift and decide to come for me. Because one thing I have learned, and this is my aha for my life, I'm not going to find nothing else in my life. If he doesn't come for me, I won't get God. For real.
Say it.
Yes, I hear that. I'm a big espouser of, but be open to love interactions
I'm
wherever
open.
they present
I'm
themselves.
open, but I am not going to pursue it, Marcus.
I
I
hear
spent the bulk of my life pursuing people because I didn't think I was worthy of anyone pursuing me.
Mm-hmm.
Sister is grown for real. So
Mm-hmm.
if there's something you see you want to deal with, come this way. I'm open,
Mm-hmm.
but I'm not coming for you.
Got it. Got it. Tip Vernon has joined us. Charles Green, Veronica Green, Adrian Green. The Greens are coming.
Hey,
Derek Moore has joined us. Looks like Murray Wright is coming.
Murray.
Okay, Lakita, sorry for the drop off. That's okay. Carmen Evans, happy belated birthday to you as well. And so I just want to ask this last question about going back to our inbox. It's a 24-year age difference, and she well, no, that's from Arnaldo and his girlfriend. It's 22-year age difference. She's 27, which I think 27 is pretty pivotal, but depending on where you are in your maturity level, and he's 49. What challenges might you, from your life experience, share with them that they might just be on the lookout for?
Donna?
Well, I will say that they really need to wrap their arms around their daughter. Period. It doesn't matter if what they believe is true happens or what they believe is true doesn't happen. That is their daughter. And they need to wrap their arms around their daughter, regardless. Because there is nothing like not having the security of being able to fall back on the love of your parents, because you know they don't disagree. They don't agree. It makes it more difficult for you to even be yourself and be comfortable around your parents if they don't agree with something so important as the man in your life. Granted, the man is 20 something years older. Okay. Get over it. You don't have a choice. She's not going to not date him. And that makes it harder on the relationship with you guys. And who wants that? It doesn't make sense, in my opinion. How old are the parents?
The dad is 50 and the mom is 46. So the boyfriend is older than the mom.
Right, but 4 years of difference between them.
Correct. And they were young.
Basically, he was in high school and she was in middle school. I'm going to say that again. Basically, he was in middle school and she was in elementary school. Okay? So if we're going to split hairs on the difference in age, like look in the mirror first. Yes, it's not 20 years, but there are years. There is maturity. There are levels of things that one person knows that the other person doesn't know, just from quote unquote living. But that doesn't make it a bad thing. Celine Dion was 15 when she married Renee. When she met Renee. He waited until she was 19 and married her, and he was 50. The love of her absolute life. So what? So what? Is the daughter happy? Is the daughter, is she happy? And if she's not happy, what are you going to be there to do? Say, I told you so, or say, baby, I love you? So I would say, that's the first thing, wrap your arms around her daughter. The second thing, open your mind a little bit. Because maybe, just maybe, you don't know where God put people in the universe to be. You don't know how he constructed her. You don't know if she is who he pulled out of this man for him. If they were made for each other and it just took generations for it to happen, who are you to stand in the way?
Okay.
There you go.
Mama V.
Here's my take. If he is allowing her to flourish and be who she is without stopping her from growing and moving and evolving, if he is not being controlling, then what needs to happen is, yes, wrap your arms around your daughter, let her know that you love her. But this is the other thing. She is not 22. She's 27. And there is nowhere on the planet that a 27-year-old needs permission to do anything in her life. That's the first thing.
Mhm.
The second thing is, Dad, if you're so concerned about the 49-year-old, get to know him.
Mm-hmm.
Find out if he is coming from the place of care for your daughter that you can respect.
Mhm.
And recognize that at some point, if you keep making this an issue, Romeo and Juliet complex is going to set in. And she's not going to think anymore. She's just going to feel.
Mm-hmm.
And emotions don't have a brain.
Mhm.
So she won't make good choices. She won't be able to see what it really is and to make that choice the way she needs to. Now, here's the flip side of this for me. Little brother, it's cool with Dad that he's getting to sow his wild oats, quote unquote, with a woman who can teach him something. So my question really becomes, Dad, are you concerned that daughter may be able to glean from this man what you may not have been able to do teach her? That she may be looking for what you may have missed doing in someone who is closer to your age? It's just a question. I'm not making an indictment. I'm just asking a question.
Yeah.
Because often I know that because my dad was not there, my first two major relationships were men that were quite a few years my senior. Because I was looking for the validation for someone in that space.
Mhm.
So everybody's got to ask themselves some real questions in that situation. One, is it our business, parents? Or are we really just supposed to be there for her? Is it our business, parents, and are we really supposed to push this boy into being, well, young man, into being in this relationship all because it looks good on the notches on his belt? What are we teaching him when we say to his sister, who is older, that she can't make decisions for her life? We got to make sure that the statements that we are making do not put us in a place where we have found ourselves as a culture where we allow more from the guy than we expect more from the daughter, and then the daughter ends up feeling less than viable, less than what her standard, the standard should be, because you shaped her that way.
Mhm.
Very careful.
Yeah.
Very careful how you shape your children by what you allow or what you say is okay and what you say is not okay.
Yeah.
Let them live. Be the safety net. Let them know that this is a bungee jump, not a free fall.
Yeah. And I invited Modera to join us because, he was early on kind of on the opposite of the spectrum, very concerned about the difference in age and the thinking that it might be dysfunctional, it might be some problem with it. So I tried to get him to join us before we close out and see if he does join in. I think that's kind of where you see somewhat the difference. And I think Jay Gerald said this earlier in his comments. Initially, he was kind of thinking you kind of put yourself in the father role and in the role of protector to some degree. But then if you put yourself in the role of someone who would date someone younger, it kind of changes how you look at it. Again, depends on the individuals. But I think you do have to give space for people to experience what they're going to experience. Because a lot of times if you try to stop them, that drives them more into doing what the very thing
that's that Romeo and Juliet thing for real.
Yeah, they'll get right.
And the bottom line is, Marcus, every relationship we're in is a learning process.
Mm-hmm.
We learn about them.
Mm-hmm.
We learn about us.
Mm-hmm.
We learn who God is, if we have a relationship with God in the midst of it.
Mm-hmm.
We learn who our families are. We learn the people who are really in our corners.
Mm-hmm.
We learn something from every relationship we're in. I'm gonna leave this. I'm gonna be a little literary for a minute. Zora Neale Hurston says, "Love is like the sea, and it's different with every shore it meets."
Mm-hmm.
And that's just the truth.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're a traveler, you know that the ocean side, the scenery, the beach side at every place you go to has a little different flavor on it.
Mm-hmm.
And you make the determination whether or not that's the flavor that you want to return to.
Mm-hmm.
You got some people who go to the same resort every year because they love it.
They love it.
So you got to deal with the shore that you meet.
Yeah.
And
Good
learn
point.
from that experience and move on if it's necessary to move on. But hang around if it's working for you.
Okay. Well, I want to give Modera one last chance because he's commenting. He was replying to something Tyann said earlier. What's the meeting ID? He's trying to get the meeting ID, J. Gerald. The meeting ID. I think the meeting ID is a bunch of 5s, but J. Gerald will help us with that because I definitely want you just to.
Yeah, that's the password. So
I think that too. Oh, you're saying something.
Go ahead, Don.
I was gonna say a part of this is they have to realize that they don't walk the same path that she walks. They were designed for their own path, and she was designed for hers. And they don't have the authority or the right to try and twist her path because it makes them feel better.
It's good.
Their job as parents is to be her guide and her friend at this point.
Mm-hmm.
She's 27, about to be 30. They've taught, listen, she got all the lessons that how do I know? My son is 30. And every lesson that I've given him over the first 10 years of his life to 15 years when he was in the crazy teenage years, 15, maybe 16 years of his life, he repeats them now to me.
Mm-hmm.
So I know that if they were the parents that they should have been to her when she was a child, that she got everything that she needed to make decisions that are powerful enough to keep her moving on her journey. And they need to let that happen, because if it doesn't happen for her and she doesn't learn the lesson, it will be repeated. Who wants to repeat this in 10 years? Yeah.
And just to their defense, it's difficult sometimes as a parent, even if your children are 27 or 10, to foresee what you think for them might be a bad situation and step back. I mean, it's easier said than done. Absolutely. It is something that you have to do, but I know a lot of parents experience trepidation. You see your child, and they're always your child, they're your adult child, but they're your child, you're your baby. You see them about to take a step and you're like, I don't think I can let you take that step. Well, the reality is I can't really stop you from taking it, but that's your first reaction. I don't want you to make that mistake. I don't want you to do that. I don't want you to experience that. That's going to go wrong. And you're right. It's oftentimes what you've taught them about exploration and the journey and the learning and the shores and the different things that they're going to experience. But in that moment, something in you kicks in and says, I want to spare you from what I think might be one of the most hurtful experiences in your life. So I relate to them in that regard.
And I hear what you're saying, Marky.
Yeah, that they don't want.
What I don't want to happen for them is what Gabby is dealing with, where there is such a disconnect that all the years of their lives and their love and their memories and all of that get put on hold because you punish her.
Yeah.
Right. Doing for loving.
Yeah. And you separate her from her sister.
Yeah.
That broke my heart. Because today is the anniversary of my oldest sister's passing, which I don't want to make an anniversary of that, but what I wouldn't long to be able to put my arms around my sister, and then to see someone separated from their sister, it's gut-wrenching. It's like, do you realize there are those of us that can't touch our sisters? We can't put our arms around our sisters, and yours is in the earth school, and you won't, someone won't facilitate that touch. It's just gut-wrenching. I saw it in her eyes and I felt it in my heart. Yeah.
Mhm.
So let me say this too, because you said something, and one of the biggest parts of parenting that I've had to realize is that in parenting, especially when they get into their 20s, one of the biggest lessons that I had to learn was not about saving them from making that step or choosing that direction, but allowing them to knowing in my heart what my gut felt
Mhm.
that it would be a mistake. But I knew because of my faith in my father that in allowing them to take that step, they would learn more than they would be hurt.
Yeah.
That's good, Jay.
That's one of the biggest lessons I had to learn
Mm-hmm.
because you can't save them from everything.
Mm-hmm.
There is, and just like Mama Vita said, there is growth in every relationship that we go through. No
Mhm.
matter if it's a work relationship or whatever type of relationship,
Mm-hmm.
there is growth in there. And
Mhm.
if we keep them from growing or from learning from those decisions that they made, then they'll never be able to make the decision on their own
Mm-hmm.
when it's time for them to, and you're no longer around.
Yep.
Mhm.
Exactly.
Yeah. I
Exactly.
agree with that. I just related to I'm relating to the dad on one hand. Now, I think I would be the same way about a son with an older woman. As a matter of fact, my nephew had an older woman who was chasing him, in the plant, which I'm trying to do a show on plant wives. But
Right.
in the plant, it's a whole different world they have in there.
It
And
is.
some of them have plant husband,
Ooh.
wives, plant side
Yes,
chicks, all
God.
kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But he
Oh,
had this woman,
yeah.
and he comes to Love and Stuff sometimes, so I might have to hear about this later, but I won't say her name. But he had this woman who was just after him, and I think he might have been every bit of 26, and she had to be my age, older. No, she had to be way older than me. And she would call. She was on him so tough. She would call him here at my home on Sundays to see if he had left from dinner.
Mm-hmm.
And it got to the place where I said, I'm not going to get on the phone and tell her, get off him. What you want with him. Don't you got a son his age? I just said to him, I said, you got options and you don't have to have a plant wife. You don't have to have one. Though everybody on the line has a plant wife or two, you don't have to have one. I said, because something about her chasing you like this just doesn't seem right.
Yeah, rabbits in the pot. Mhm.
Listen,
And-
when women chase my son, what I tell him is, son, what did I teach you about that? And he says, Mama, if they chasing me to try and give it to me, I definitely don't want it. Because if they're trying to give it to me like that, then more than likely, I'm not the only one that they're chasing. So let me just, step back. Don't judge, but step back and see. And if you are teach her that you are the pursuer, not her.
Yeah. And if he didn't learn that lesson, you would still want, at some point, maybe a part of you might want to step in to reiterate it, reteach it, is my only point of the relation to it.
Yes,
Because
I do.
not everybody gets that lesson. And there is this natural part of you that kicks in to say, and you have to work at bridling that some, right? So that they test
You
the
can
lesson
say
for
it,
themselves.
but you cannot, you can reiterate. That's good teaching, to reiterate. But you can't make them feel like the move is making is hurting you.
Wow. Right. Oh, come on.
When you make them feel like the move they're making is hurting you, then that's something altogether different. That becomes a manipulation. You got to be careful that there's a line between, I really don't want you to do this, and I'm gonna manipulate you out of it by making you feel like it's gonna make me so distraught that it's gonna hurt me. Or people have to be careful how far they go. That.
And you have to ask yourself, as a parent, you got to ask yourself, hopefully you ask yourself as a mature parent, as to why you really feel that way.
Yeah.
Why is it that you feel like this is not the person for your son or your daughter?
Mhm.
Because you don't want it to be because of you.
Mhm.
Yep.
I had this conversation even last night, that and it's fitting in this situation because you really want to have your son or your daughter open in their relationships to you, to introduce you and so that you'll get to know that person, because you can be the mental part of discernment for them while they're only interested in the heart. Their heart is so caught up in it that they won't see some of the stuff that you'll see if you're involved or at least know something about that other person.
Mhm.
So it's important for us, for you as a parent to make sure that you're in that relationship to the point where at least you can see or oversee what they're really going through.
Mhm. That's good.
Oversee. I just thinking about that, the word of see and oversee. She's 27. She's not 19. She's not 21. She's getting ready to be 30.
Right.
And 30 could be 17, depending on that child, right? It could be that she's a mature 27. It could be that you know your daughter and she's not a mature 27.
Or that she's at home. Because we haven't asked those questions. If she's still home, that's a different level.
Right.
Yeah.
But if she's out there living her life and they're just having an issue with the way that she's living her life, it's no one, no one can tell you, speaking to the parent specifically, no one is going to look at me and tell me how to live my life. At 35, at 27, at 21, at 20, no one, as much as I love my mother and as much guidance as she gave me, the only person that breathes the breath in this body is me. I've always been that way, and it may be just that. Listen, like I said, this is the part of life that I have to live in order for me to become the me that I'm supposed to be, that I was designed to be down there. So this part is just as significant as every part that you agreed with.
Yeah. And that might be individually for you. I'm glad that when I was 20 and 24 that my parents did tell me how to live my life. And yet I have other siblings that they might not have needed to tell at 20 and 24 how to live their life. So it was the parents knowing their children and having some discernment relative to the relationships and maybe not even overseeing the relationship, as Gerald said. I kind of somewhat disagree with that a little bit. But
let me clarify. When I say oversee, I'm not saying that you're involved in it and you're telling them what to do. What I'm saying is that you step back and observe it.
Okay.
And you're watching.
Yeah, that's kind of why I said lean into the parent. Let her wrap their arms around the daughter. Just
Right.
Yeah. Okay. Well, it looks like
Marcus, as you say to me sometimes, there are things that I could see coming down the pipe that I would say to you, Mark, you don't want to go there by yourself.
That's correct.
Little things, not because I thought you were not mature enough or smart enough to see it, but it was because I saw it first. I just showed you. Now, if you had chosen, and I don't know whether you chose or not.
And I'm alive, and I'm alive today in part because of it.
Amen.
And so and for me, that was what I needed at those various junctures. I have siblings that maybe didn't need that, but I did. And I'm thankful that my parents and others knew this is what you needed. So it just depends on the person about, I mean, she could be a 27-year-old who is you know, she is clearly making her decisions, but you know, her parents, you know, may have some involvement.
They have a right to be concerned. I mean, they are parents.
Mhm.
After all, if they were not good parents, they would not be concerned.
Mhm.
But the way that that's not the way to reel her in, so that if there is something that could fall out and be a problem, that she would be able to feel comfortable enough to fall back into the, oh my gosh, this was horrible, Mom. I need a hug. I
Gotcha.
need some love. I need it to, you know, the concern I have is more like the alienation of it all.
Got you.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. And I keep going back to Gabby. I feel so horrible about that. But okay, so Modera, I don't know. I think he decided this is too much. I don't know. He can't find the meeting ID though. I think we posted it a couple times. So I want to thank you all for coming.
You're welcome.
I'd love to have you all back, even though it's, you know, not the topic. But I think in between these junctures of people are ready for relationships, coming out of relationships, I just think people need some detox.
I agree.
Before going into the next relationship. Some people who are coming out of a relationship where it didn't go well, it didn't end well, they didn't leave it amicably.
Evaluation, then detox. Because I think some people detox without figuring out their role in it.
Yeah.
So evaluation, assessment.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. And what
quarantine.
What is detox? You know, everybody.
But I'm just saying, everyone sees it differently.
Let me tell you what it is. If you want to know. Yeah, I see it as certainly before you would do any kind of detox, you're going to have to do some evaluation and assessment because you don't know what kind of detox to do.
Correct.
So that's a part in my mind of the detox. And part of it has to be some personal accountability for what your role was or is in that relationship and its impact on you, as well as, okay, there are things that you should take forward with you that you learned from this relationship, good, bad, ugly, or indifferent, that help to make you a better person. Now, what are those so that you know what not to repeat or what to repeat and in what frequency, or maybe be open to the frequency or whatever. And I think all of that is what would be encapsulated in a detox.
I agree. When you said that, it actually reminded me of, you know, and I guess that's the next or another or whatever, but it reminded me of the process that I went through when I got divorced and what I needed to do in order to heal, and the conversations that I need to have with myself, and the conversations that I need to have with my ex. You know what I mean? The questions I needed to ask myself, the questions I needed to ask him in order to just wrap my head around being a single woman again after so long. So yeah, you do need to detox. And then I was able to construct my list and say, this is what I want, and this is what I don't want, and this is what I will accept, and this is what I won't accept, and this is what is important to me, and this is what is a deal breaker for me. Like without that part, you don't get to this part.
Okay, so Modera did finally make it in as we were getting ready to close out. But I wanted you to come in because you were going so hard in the comments, and maybe that wasn't the tone because you can't really read tone in comments, but I felt like the words were leaping out of the comments. And so I said, well, let me bring his voice forward because it's a divergent voice. And pretty passionate about some of the things that you were saying. So you kind of heard from this last set of panelists, if you will, you know, you got to consider more than just the age, be it older. You know, we talked about dating people lots of years older, lots of years younger. You got to consider more than just the age. And that kind of wasn't your sentiment. And so I'm wondering, can you share a little bit more of that sentiment?
First of all, what up, though? That's a Detroit thing. The other thing is, I didn't hear all the panelists because I kind of, you know, been away from Facebook. But, you know, as I came in, I saw, you know, some of the ladies, you know, they gave their comments, whatever. You know, my thing is blah, whatever. At the end of the day, okay, and like you say, keep it, you know, respectful and everything, which I'm going to do. Okay. One of the young ladies, I caught the tail end of what she said. She said something about if certain things were in place, such as having a father that, was involved in the life, certain things would not be. And I wholeheartedly believe that this has been scientifically proven, psychologically proven by both the psychological and the medical model. It's been proven by certain things in scripture that we've read. However, all I'm saying is, I, as a father of a 22 and a 21-year-old daughters, ain't no way in the hell I'm gonna date somebody that's 3 years older than my kids. There is nothing in a 24-year-old's mind that makes her as mature as a man that's 50 years old. And if they share the same mindset, that 50-year-old man has the mindset of a 24-year-old. Now, I understand that you can't just use age, but there's so many dynamics that go into place with this. I mean, if I live 23 years longer than the person I'm dating, the only thing we got in common outside of skin color is the hots for each other. There is nothing that she can do to heal me, nothing I can do to heal her. If she needs healing because of the deficiencies of not being raised properly by a daddy, she got daddy issues. She's need a daddy, not a man. And especially not a man to also play the role of daddy, because that's what he's doing. Now, I know quite a few folks out there got a difference of opinion. You may think I'm being too hard. Maybe I'm being stubborn, bull-nosed, or what's the other word? Dogmatic.
I don't know, because bull-nosed is a new one. But keep going.
Well, okay,
keep going.
But the reality is this, man. I am not for that. I don't care when people say, well, let them live their lives. They're just going to be themselves, and who cares what they do? And then you have a society of the type of people we got today from folks who create kids like that with that type of dysfunction. And then we wonder why don't nobody know nothing. Folks ain't raised like it was in the old school. Okay, I ain't saying the old school was perfect either. But God dog it, 24, 50 years old, it shouldn't even happen. And I see my brother with the Michigan shirt on, look like he looking at me like, dog, you know I'm about to cut into you. Say what you're gonna say, bro. But my thing is,
so Modera, let me jump in here. I want to get to the center of this dysfunction, because you've used that in a couple of the comments. Why do you characterize it as dysfunction?
What's normal with that?
Don't tell me what isn't. Tell me why it is. Why is it dysfunction?
Okay, so let me just use the example of the guy who talked today, the light-skinned guy who said that him and this girl work together. She's a therapist and all that. I just kind of laughed at that, because I'm saying to myself, like, so I'm listening to all the things that they have been through. And another young lady commented, and she said it is their trauma that has bonded them. The Stockholm syndrome. This is a classic example of someone that's looking for something that needs something from the opposite sex. And it is being misconstrued for love. It's not love. It is a cry for help.
Well, tell me why it's a cry for help.
Okay. Prime example. Let's just go with what was said tonight through old boy's mouth himself. She didn't know her father or was raised by a stepfather, and that relationship was bad. She was treated like a kid, so on, so on, and so on. Mm-hmm. I can imagine that he's summarizing the details of that situation. It's dysfunctional, clinically dysfunctional. So where she
comes from a dysfunctional situation, yes. And what would make it? Right. Would it make it more normal because she dated somebody that was 2 years older than her? Would that have made it normal?
I would say that it would probably, by face, looks normal, but without healing, it's still dysfunctional. You can have folks that's the same age.
So let me ask you this. How then does the age difference make it dysfunctional if you just described that even someone dating her 2 years older would also be dysfunctional if she came from a dysfunctional situation? So how does the age factor in? That's what I'm trying to understand.
Well, I mean, hell, if you listen to what old boy said about his situation and his upbringing and hers, it's all dysfunctional, whether it's the same
how does
age
the age factor in? That's what I'm trying to factor in the age.
Even if I don't use their age,
well, let me hold on. I got to hold you to that, because that's what we're discussing.
Okay.
Whether or not the age is a factor. So I got to hold you to that.
Okay. So let's
talk about their dysfunction, because if that be the case, any of us who have had anything less than an idyllic existence and experience could say that there is some dysfunction within our lives, genes, within our generation. I'm asking whether or not the age presents a specific challenge, because
I would
that's
say,
what we were
okay.
discussing.
Well, let's look at that word challenge. I won't say it's a challenge, because if you got these two people who consider themselves to be grown, doing what they do to make themselves happy, then if they're at ease and they're at peace with it, there's no challenge. What I'm saying is, looking at that situation, it doesn't help that he is 20 some, twice her age.
Well, let
It
me ask you
doesn't help.
this.
Go
Then
ahead.
why does it hurt?
Hurt who? Don't hurt me.
No, I'm not saying it hurts you. I'm saying, why would it hurt them? You said it doesn't help. So
Okay,
maybe you're
because
inferring that.
here it is. And I'll put it to you this way. Another young lady who said, you know, if he's helping, and let me say this, I'm going to preface this answer with this comment. One of the ladies in the group said early today, she said that if, and I'm going to paraphrase it, she said something about she has calmed him down. If he's allowing her to flourish and grow. Let me just stop there. So if this young lady hooks up with this dude with the deficiencies and dysfunction in which she was raised in, let's say that she does begin to flourish and grow and begin to experience a world outside of the dysfunction she's known. At some point, that relationship's going to end, because being with this dude who gave her all that she missed at home from daddy, once she started getting that and heal from it, she has no use for him. At some point, it becomes a matter of understanding things from a practical standpoint. Why, as a guy who's 48, about to be 49 years old, want to be hooked up with somebody that's 69 years old? I ain't trying to go after your pension. You can't really wipe my butt if I need it. You can't bust me around if I need that kind of help. So at the end of the day, I'm just being practical. Not to say that
I'm trying to follow it. But what I'm trying to go back to is, you're still not factoring in for me, you're not connecting the dots of the age, because in your example, your example presupposes that she flourishes and grows and he doesn't.
What more growth is he gonna do at 50 years old, bro?
Oh,
realistic.
But Modera, listen. Modera, listen. If you are not growing, you are dying.
Okay.
And so let me ask you this. This brother is pursuing his doctorate degree. I don't think that his
folks with PhDs and MDs
let me finish. He's pursuing his doctorate degree so that he can further utilize that skill to bring about change with young people and build curriculums for them. He is not regressing, he is progressing. So to think that as someone becomes 48, and I don't know if you even heard Mama B talking earlier, she is progressing in her 50s. And I'm wondering, do you feel that whatever age you're at, that you're gonna hit a plateau and you're gonna stop progressing? Because
no, bro, that is not what I'm saying.
Wouldn't that be true in every relationship?
Advanced degrees in education does not necessarily mean or will result in a healed person or a person that grows. You can have degrees, you can make all the money you want. I dated somebody who's a nurse practitioner who's 2 years older than me and is about as dumb as a doorknob because they don't exercise common sense. So having a degree in money means nothing. All I want to say is
can I say something? Can I please say something? Please.
Let me just finish this thought. Then y'all can just say something.
Okay.
I'm just saying, Modera, I really was looking for the connection, because everything you've described could happen between two people who are the exact same age.
Exactly. That's my whole point. And
well,
I think that your point
doesn't speak to the point of the show, I guess is what I'm saying, Modera.
You're right. And I guess so boys did not speak to the point of the show either. I was just speaking on his situation.
But Modera, I'm saying your point doesn't speak to the age difference. And you kind of went in on the age difference. And
I put it to you this way. Let's give it
just trying to get you to give me some support on the age difference. And
reach back out to that brother. And let's just see how that relationship goes.
Hold on, Modera. I was trying to get you to give me some support on the age difference. And before I have the ladies speak, I just wonder, do you have some support on the age difference?
I tell you what, I'm going to think on it while these other ladies talk. Let me hear what they got to say. and,
Thanks.
and we'll go from there.
Thanks.
Dawn, go
So
for
my
it.
question to you, Modera, is what makes you think that they're not healed?
What's your name?
My name is Dawn. What makes you
Hi,
think
Dawn.
they,
How are you?
hi. What I'm wonderful. How are you?
I'm good. I'm actually having fun with this, but go right ahead.
Right. So what makes you think that they are not healed?
I'll put it to you this way. I will hold my peace and say, let's revisit their relationship 5, maybe 7 to 10 years from now, and then let that determine whether or not there's been some healing that's taken place. I just have this belief through studies, through psychology, my own studying, my own degrees, my own research. What I have found is that what some people need when they date on their level of deficiency, once that's been resolved, they no longer need the factors or the variables that help them get there. So if this guy, just give an example, if this guy and this girl is together based on their deficiencies or dysfunctional upbringings, once there's been a level of healing, at some point you got to come to the truth within yourself and say, wow, we got together based on this, that, and the other. And then you have to ask yourself conclusively, how do we grow together from here? Does that need still exist? If the need doesn't exist, I would have to call into question the integrity of the relationship to see if it would even withstand. That's just my perspective. I could be wrong.
I
That's why I say
understand.
let's wait some years and see.
I understand, but what I'm asking you is not about years away, because they're not in a relationship years away. They're in a relationship right now.
That's
And
right.
you are proposing that they are
Mhm.
not healed and that their relationship is going to fall apart. My question to you is, how do you know that they are not healed, that they have not done the work that they need to do in order to
Well,
be able to flourish in this relationship?
Well, I'll
That
put it
could
to you
very
this way.
well be.
I didn't hear him speak to that. I didn't hear him say, well, you know, with all the stuff that she's been through and all the stuff that I've been through, this is what I've done to heal. This is what I've done to recognize, you know, what my deficiencies were, our dysfunctions. I've heard none of that. So to my
But
own
none of those
defense,
questions
no,
were
bro,
asked.
he hasn't had it. He hasn't had it. If he would have
Listen.
spoke on it and said that's what had happened, then I would say, hey, then I stand to be corrected. But because,
or
as he stated,
Modera,
I'm
because
pursuing my
of,
degree.
or
Go ahead, bro.
Modera, because of your background, you could have discerned it.
Or just exercising some common sense on what is and what ain't.
Okay.
But I hear you, bro, respectfully.
Yeah.
Let me jump in here, please. First of all,
What's your name?
I'm Valencia.
First of all, what's your name, young lady?
I'm Valencia.
Valencia?
Mm-hmm.
What up, Valencia?
What up? So
What up, though? Go ahead.
The first thing I want to say is this. If at 24 and 48, they have found this season, and this season doesn't last forever, that's okay. That's the first thing. Second thing is that the young lady that we are talking about, her background is as yours is. She's a guidance counselor. So psychology and sociology and all of the things that come along with healing and making sure that she's healed is part of what her coursework is. And so she knows all of those statistics. So what I am trying to say to you is that we have to be very, very careful that we do not that we do not make people's lives such a data-based clinician's world that we miss the importance of life and living. People are going to be with each other. People who have gone through every therapist there is deal with the fact that they may still have some dysfunction. Dysfunction may crop up at any time. We live this life not based on what we know is going to happen. We live this life about the peaks and valleys that we go through. And if it were an exact science, it wouldn't be life. It'd be a project.
Mm-hmm.
And so I just want you to understand that they may not have,
Oh boy.
they may
Oh,
not,
God.
they may not last 7 to 10 years, but they may grow old together. He may take care of himself. They may be 60 and 40 and then and 70 and 50 and be just fine. That's not our call. But the call that we can make And I'm glad it's humorous to you, but I would suggest to you that you might want to look at life from more than one vantage point.
I have. Trust me, I have.
No,
And
I'm
what I
saying I'm
have,
not talking about your experiences. I'm
it's
talking
not
about
mine.
your listen. That's why the rearview mirror is smaller than the windshield. There's some things ahead of you that you can't count right now. You can't count them because you haven't had them yet.
Exactly.
So if they are in a situation where that is working for them, those people are going to live their lives. And and the best thing for us to do in this day and time, when we got bombs going off everywhere and we don't know from one day to the next what's going to happen, is to let people have the happiness they have for the time that they have it.
Yeah. And I was hopeful,
Absolutely.
Modera, and you
Let 'em
sharing
have that.
that you were going to be sharing something relative to your opposition to the large space and time relative to their ages. I just haven't really heard that, but I think you have shared some important points, just not the one that I was looking to hear from you, because I thought from the inbox, I kept saying, now you're making some points here. So I wanted to give you the opportunity to back them up, and thought maybe there was going to be something that you were going to say about this gap in age. But I think, each situation is individual. And while everybody could draw from their discipline as it relates to utilizing information to project on a specific case, I think, without having something specific to age, we kind of just have to live and let live.
Mm-hmm.
You're absolutely right. And I think with the age thing, like I say, to each is his own. And the reason I say that is because, as Valencia, right?
Yes.
As she stated, is that, this is their decision. They can grow old together. Who's to say this, that, and the other? I totally get that. One of the things, and if I have to use age and not using anything that is scientifically substantiated, but just maybe my own opinion, maybe a little common sense, and maybe I'm just being wrong. Maybe it's just error. But I don't have anything in common with a child that is half my age. I don't. That's my life. I'm not saying anyone.
Well, the reality is, Modera, you don't have anything in common with someone that is half your age that you have met.
I
You
tell you what,
every woman that's half your age.
You're right. I have not,
and you don't know whether or not you would have
none
something in
that's
common
half
with
my
one.
age or the same age as my children. That is just a no for me. It just
I understand, but I just wanted to insert that you haven't experienced every woman, right?
No.
So you don't know if there is a woman out there who is
no time of the day and emotional
got
to do that. I hear you, bro. I hear you, man. You're absolutely right. But at the end of the day, I just what I know as a father. I know that there are some people who have been molested, some people have been abused, some people end up being what they are and attracted to folks much older than them because of those things. It could be because the lack of a parent of the opposite sex in which they desire some type of guidance from. These are the basics of attraction for people who date in such a manner. However, it's not conclusive that
above.
That's what I'm saying. I'm about to say that it's not always conclusive that those are the reasons why. All I'm saying is, for me, not nobody else, but for me, I'm not dating nobody that's my child's age or several years older.
I have that rule myself, so I get that. My son is 30. I will not date a 30-year-old man or somebody younger, although I am approached all the time. That has nothing to do with it. My standard, that cutoff, right around 35. Nah, baby. Mm-mm. Well, somewhere in there.
And that's with all due respect, his children are not her age.
That's right.
He said, wait a minute. If I ain't mistaken, ain't the young lady, is she 24 or 27?
We're talking about the one in the
I'm talking about the dude, the big dude that was on early today who's 50 something. Who's
24.
Wait now. Modera. He ain't a big dude that's 50 something. What are you doing?
He looked like he can knock me through a brick wall. That's what I'm saying, like a big fella. I ain't say he was fat. I said big fella. There's a difference. So all I'm saying is the gentleman
She's
that was
24.
She's 24 and he's 48.
he's 48. And if I'm not mistaken, did he not say he had a daughter that was 21?
20.
20. Okay, so we
She's
talking
20.
4 short years. 4 short years older than his oldest child. All I'm saying is that can never be me.
Child has no
So-
problem with it.
Huh?
The
Who has
child
the
has
problem?
no
Child has
problem
no
with it.
problem.
Who don't?
The
The
child.
child.
Okay. Listen, what does a child know about grown folk business? That's why they still a
Listen,
child.
hold on.
I'm holding on. Come on. Bring it.
If the connection between that family is working for them and the oldest child who would have the most problem with it because she is within the shortest amount of age span, has no problem. Who are we to create one for?
Who said I ain't creating one for him? I will say this, and this is what I'm saying. This just me now. You can call me butthole, whatever. Now this dude described.
I won't
what
call you
was up-
butthole. I
Okay,
won't call you that.
this dude, he described what his upbringing was. Not
Mhm.
ideal. So if we look at it from a clinical perspective, we know it was dysfunctional. Okay,
It's not.
listen what I'm saying. Now this is his upbringing. Then he describes hers. He describes who he talked to, who basically raised him or was influential in his life. At the end of the day, if it's okay for him, then he feels it's okay for his daughters, which is why he's dating somebody that's just a few years older than his daughter. All I'm saying is,
Where's
had
the
there
age?
been-
Where does the age factor into that? That's what I've
I
been
think-
asking you, and you
Here's
haven't. You
here's-
haven't
okay.
answered that. You told me you were going to think on
Okay.
it while the ladies were talking, and I'm looking for
and
an
I hadn't
answer.
thought about it. So this is what I'm gonna do, Marcus. This is what I'm gonna do for you, man. I'm because I got some other stuff I got to do tomorrow morning. What I'm gonna do either between tomorrow night and Friday or Thursday, I'm gonna make sure that I answer that question. So when you come back to your broadcast and Valencia's there and the other young lady there with the 30-year-old son and your other listening audience, I want you to share with them what I give you as it relates to what does age got to do with it. Right now,
I think I'm gonna do one better. I
What's
think
up, bro?
since you made comments without having this background, we're just going to resolve it that was your opinion, and we respect
you
you
go.
have heard your opinion, and let that be.
There we go.
Have to do any follow up with any additional information because either you have it at this point or you don't. You made those statements. There's no backup for it. It's your opinion. We respect that. We honor that, and we move on from that.
You ain't
I
got
just
to honor
want,
it,
can I
but
say this
appreciate
one
it.
last thing?
Go ahead.
One last thing.
Bring it.
Madero, as a person who is dealing with the clinical side of people's lives, I respect your academics, I respect your scholarship. But as a person who has to deal with the clinical side, but also the spiritual side of people's lives on a day-to-day basis, I would that you would be a little more careful how you decide who people are based on what statistics say without knowing who they are as people.
Okay. Well, I appreciate that, but I let the words that come out of folk mouths paint the picture and their actions to solidify the paint that picture of what I think they are and what they do. I let folks tell me what it is that they do. I let folks, when they speak, tell who and what they are. It's up to me on how I process that when I hear it, how I discern that, be it clinical, be it intuitive, be it instinctual. At the end of the day, if I've seen this many times, years over, it's almost like the weather. Yes, patterns can change, but you can predict the 4 seasons. We got winter, summer, spring, and fall. Michigan, we got all 4, sometime all 4 in the same week. At the same time, you know who you're dealing with. You know what you're dealing with. It's like different people. We're all different, but there's a common thread that runs in all people that make us all the same somewhere. And all I'm saying is based on what that gentleman said tonight, what he described about his upbringing, that of his girlfriend, I'm listening to that. It's like, I've heard this before. So I understand about being sensitive and mindful spiritually and clinically. I get all that. But at some point, got to draw the line and call it what it is. It is what it is.
And I think what it is, it's like the meteorologist saying 50% chance.
It's a
And
chance. It's
And
a
I
chance. You're right,
and
bro. It's a chance. But what
and,
is the
and,
likelihood?
and I think you have to be careful for saying that it's more than a 50% chance.
Okay.
Okay. Thank
All
you,
right.
Modera. I appreciate
My
it.
Right.
Thank
man.
you.
You got it. Y'all take care now.
You too.
Thank you all. It's been a long show, but it's been an interesting show. At Love and Stuff, I like people to get their chance to say what they want to say, and I think we've done that for Modera. I think he said plenty, and I appreciate him stopping by to share his perspective. Very interesting perspective, and I appreciate Arnaldo for being such a good sport in that regard all night long. Thank you so much, Don Renee. Thank you, Mama V. Thank you, our senior associate, J. Gerald Harvey. What a great show. I know that the folks in the inbox will be inboxing me all night. And I'm gonna stay awake tonight to answer everything.
Oh my gosh.
That is
Bless
said
you,
in
bless
the
you.
inbox.
Danae,
But
great to hang with you.
Great
Thank
to
you,
hang
Marcus.
with you too.
Thank you, Jack.
thank you
Thank
so
you,
much.
Jay. Thank you, Marcus.
Thank you
All
all. Well, Marcus, you gonna wrap this up?
I am wrapping up, I think. Yes, I am.
All right.
Again, to our inbox, I love that there are divergent voices, which sometimes requires patience to hear each other out. But I think
you
one
have
of the things that I want to double back to that was said, that you've got to at some point trust your children. They're going to explore and make decisions and make journey steps that you cannot prevent them from making. And in some regards, you don't want to prevent them from making. You want to be there as a loving safety net to catch them if they should need that. And so in this situation where the dad doesn't quite agree with what he is saying, we just want you to hear all of the divergent opinions. And I think you'll find in the middle of that is that you know your child, though grown she may be, and you got to trust to some extent that you have invested and poured into her enough to make the right decisions. I love that the mother says, let's just wait and see. If it fizzles out, it fizzles out. And if it doesn't, maybe it's meant to be. And I think that'd be great advice for any of us, to let someone's opportunity for love be what it might be. Thank you so much, Senior Associate Producer. Thank you so much, Mama V. Thank you so much, Don Renee. Thank you so much, Lakita Phillips. Thank you so much, Modera Johnson. Thank you all for joining us. Thank you, Arnaldo and Gabby, especially for coming and sharing so transparently of your beautiful relationship. And you're part of our Love and Stuff community, so we certainly have you covered. And you should share this content right now. It's been a long show, but it's a good show. And we want to get to our 1,000 views, to our 60 shares, and we want to grow this platform, and we can't do it without you. So appreciate all of you doing that now. Don't forget to stop by the Love and Stuff page, click community, click invite friends, and select all. Invite all of your friends to like our page so that we can get to our 20,000 followers. Starting next week, we're looking at another platform where we can live stream simultaneously to our YouTube channel, to our Twitch channel, and to LinkedIn. So we'll be doing simulcast on all of those channels, and still interviewing guests, still bringing you great content. Hope to see you there. See you Saturday on the Gratefulness Journey every day. We also have up a fundraiser to help Lynn Shaw, who was in our room earlier and who is a part of our community, who is still contending with her multiple myeloma. And her, and along with others that are contending with that, we want to pledge to give towards them to help them with their medical expenses. So you can go to the Love and Stuff page, it's pinned at the top, and you can donate any amount. If we get 250 people to donate $20, we'll reach our goal, but you can donate any amount to help us to reach our goal, to help to incur to curtail rather some of the medical expenses that they are experiencing. Just wanted to double back. I'm sorry. Patricia Johnson, thank you, cousin, for coming. Dennis Page, LaShawn Gant has joined. Sandra Beaver says you can study what you want to study. That's not going to bring you love. It doesn't matter what background is. Love is love. Age, race, it don't matter. Only God can judge. Thank you for that. Andrew Jerome Crawford has joined us. The famous Roderick Dixon of Three Mo Tenors has come through. I'm so excited about that. Excited that all of you have come through. And everybody, have a great night. Now letting me close out though. Hmm. Ah. Hmm.